Yo, what is going down, y'all? Welcome in, man. The most underrated podcast. The homie Dal Palantonio sitting across from me. The most silent man in podcast history. JJ over there in the corner doing his thing. And sorry for the delay, guys, man. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough weekend. We've had a lot of stuff go on here at Certified Tattoo Studio, and I hate that we're starting the podcast like this because we've had some good energy. Both of us were in a good mood. We had some good vibes coming in, and we lost our creative director here at the Certified Tattoo Studios, man. Our homie Drew. You may have seen him in the vlogs. You may have seen him in the background of the podcast stuff. He used to sit right here in the corner next to me, man. In this studio where we're recording, this is kind of my office here, and he used to sit right next to me. And he passed away on Saturday, and it's been really, really tough. Just losing celebrities in general. We had spoke at the end of last week on Friday, when Mac Miller passed away. Dallas and I had already recorded that version of the podcast, so we didn't talk about that on the last podcast. So Burt Reynolds died, then Mac Miller died, and Drew and I were kind of talking, and I know you and I were talking, some other people here were talking, and we were just like, man, celebrities, they say people die in threes, and celebrities die in threes, and lo and behold, that was the last day I saw Drew, man. Super hard on me, super... it's going to take a long time to get over. It's not going to be something you think when you lose somebody, it's going to be a family member. It's going to be like you, one of my really close friends. You think that stuff's going to hurt the most, but it's actually the people that you see the most. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when T-Bone died, when my DJ died, I had all those memories of all those shows we had done together and all those good times we had spent, but I didn't see him every single day. Yeah. So as tough as that was, it almost feels like having known Drew less time, having kicked it with Drew less time as far as kicking it outside of work, we only kicked it a few times, you know what I mean? Like he had his crew of friends, he was doing his thing, he was a lot younger, he was 23 years old, Yeah. It was one of those situations where we didn't kick it outside of here a lot, but we saw each other every day at work, and he was my homie here at work, and he was my coworker, and we bounced ideas off each other, and we had so many projects we were working on, so many things we were doing. So when you spend that amount of time with someone, you don't realize how much them exiting this world is going to impact your life, until it happens. Like if you would have asked me a week ago, you would have given me 5 people, 4 of them being family and some of my best friends, and then throw Drew in there as the 5th. Drew would be the last person I would pick as far as how much would this hurt or how much would this impact your life. And, man, it's just, it's something you don't think about. It's something that just catches you by surprise. And, rest in peace to Drew, man. He was a talented guy.
Yeah, I'll say a little bit as well. I didn't know Drew near as much as you, and I didn't spend much time with him as you did. But we're here broadcasting at a Certified, and as we call the Glass House, and you and him worked like right next to each other, every day for the last year and a half or so, give or take. I mean, I can't imagine.
No. That's the crazy thing about Drew. I've been here about almost a year. Drew has only been here about 6 months. I've only known Drew 6 months. That's why I was like, man, you just don't feel like someone you've known 6 months is going to have that much of an impact on your life when they go, because you're not expecting him to go either. Right. It's 23. It's something I've never thought about.
Well, and the crazy thing is we all work every day. Most of us do, right? And I think about, my situation, and I definitely agree with you on that. We have what they call work husbands and work wives, the people that we kind of always call to, every day for direction, for answers, that kind of stuff. I think about those 2 or 3 people in my company that I kind of talk to on the daily, and, having them there, every day, and taking that for granted, I guess you'd say, and then all of a sudden maybe not having that, man, that would really pull the carpet right underneath you, and that's a big impact, man, and I really feel for you and the crew here at Certified, man. My prayers go out to Drew's family as well, man. That's it's heavy hearts for sure.
So, again, I hate starting the show off like that, but it's something we had to do. It's something we had to get out of the way, man. It's something we had to take care of. We can kind of go into that from Drew's passing, Mac Miller's passing. You know what I mean? We didn't get to talk about that on the podcast. How did that impact you? Were you a big Mac Miller fan? Did you have any of his albums? How long have you been following him?
For me, Mac Miller, I wasn't a big fan. I did like what he did, and I remember The Kids. I guess that was back in 2010.
Of course.
And I think that was really what resonated with me, was kind of back to 2010, that early album that he did. that was impactful for me. And then I did kind of think about, do you remember the show Mac Miller had? I believe it was with MTV.
MTV2, I think it was on MTV2.
Yeah, it was MTV2.
Little reality show.
Yeah, and it just kind of showed him, going anything from just his daily life. It was almost like the real world version of just Mac Miller, and what he was doing. Showed him going into the...
It was kind of like Robin Big in like a sense. You know what I mean? That's probably the closest show I can compare it to.
Yeah, and that's where I knew Mac Miller from. I knew his music and I knew of his music, but I wasn't very deep in it, let me just be honest. But the Kids, the 2010, that was the impact for me. But then it went from that show, and I really followed that show very well because, again, music is super huge for me. And, whether I was a big fan or not of Mac Miller, the show was great because it showed him just doing whatever he wanted, spending, unlimited budgets of money, again, like Robin Big. But then it also showed him going into the booth and laying down some tracks and having the homies come through and some of the features. I really enjoyed that. So that was kind of what was monumental for me with Mac Miller.
For sure.
What about you?
Same thing. I remember the show. I remember first time hearing about Mac Miller, some of this early mixtape stuff. Mm-hmm. He was kind of coming out around the same time Wiz Khalifa was kind of doing his thing. They were both out of Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And I remember kind of being a little bit jealous. I was making music at the time. I was selling beats to everybody I could to pay for college, and I was doing college shows. And
up in the Greeley.
A lot of you guys don't know, man. I used to have a pretty good thing going in the hip hop scene, especially here in Colorado. I mean, we opened for every single, me and my homie Ed, we opened for every single big artist that came through here, man. Everyone from Devin the Dude to E40 to Tech 9 to Bone Thugs and Harmony, 2 Live Crew, everyone that came through the Fort Collins and Northern Colorado area, me, Black Prez, Ed, 1-6, T-Bone, we had that area locked down. We were kind of the go-to guys for any of those big shows. Then we started branching out to CU and Boulder and doing all those college shows down there. And we just had a really good opportunity. I got to open for Wiz Khalifa in Grand Junction, like way back in the day before he was even big, like 2009. Mac Miller wasn't there, but Macklemore, same thing, opened for him really early. So that's kind of my memories, is that whole scene when that kind of music. You remember that time when hip-hop really had all that uppity, like all the hip-hop, it kind of sounded the same for a minute, and it was all happy rap. It was all uppity, like happy party rap, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And from about 2009 to 2013, it kind of had that party rap, kind of frat rap type vibe. Obviously it's changed a lot since that, and just even the past 4 or 5 years, but that was my earliest memories of Mac, man. In those days, his early mixtape shit, the Kids album like you were talking about, and then him doing Blue Slide Park in 2000, I think that was 2011. I went to see him in Boulder just with some friends, just went to watch the show over at the Fox Theater in Boulder when Blue Slide Park came out. Super sick. Love that venue. Super small, intimate. But just a guy that was continually making better music. That's what I really respected about Mac.
The growth, yeah, for sure.
So much growth. And it kind of reminded me of Kanye in a way, how none of his albums really sounded the same. You'd have a really boom bap hip hop type album. Then you'd have like a more jazz infused inspired album. Then you'd have just more of a newer hip hop vibe to certain some of his shit. So all his stuff sounded different. And if you know Kanye's projects is the same way. Like none of those projects sound remotely the same. They're all pretty much different. They have their own concepts and their own way they flow through. This was no different with Mac Miller, and that's something I really respected, and him continuing to evolve and make great music.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs. I was just thinking about it here, being a sneakerhead and trying to be in that sneaker game. Do you
Nike's
remember?
on my feet.
Nike's on my feet, man. I
used that in the vlog a couple times, actually.
Yeah, that's right. I just thought of that, and that was a great song, man. And I think actually Nike came out and kind of gave him credit towards that, and God rest his soul, kind of thing. I think that Nike was saying something about that on this past weekend as well. So a little tribute from Nike, which is cool. But Nike's on my feet, man. Dope for sure.
The homie Teddy. Shout out to the homie Teddy, man. He just tweeted me telling me sorry about Drew.
No doubt, man.
He just heard. Love Ted, man. Ted's my guy. Love Ted.
Yeah.
Just love Ted. I don't even get
Ted will always give it to you straight.
Ted's the greatest.
He'll never front with you.
No, that's why we fucking get along. We're very direct people. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
It is what it is. Just a genuine dude. Super genuine too. That's what I love about Ted. Like if you don't like people that are genuine, you want some sugar coating, you're probably not gonna like him.
You're not gonna like Ted.
But he's very genuine. He'll always shoot it to you straight.
Totally.
He'll tell you. what he thinks of your idea. If he doesn't like it doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It's his
Right.
opinion, though. He's never going to shy away from that opinion. So I love Ted. Thank you for the love on Drew, man.
What do you, real quick to kind of wrap up Mac Miller, did you see that his new swimming album that I think dropped August 3rd?
Swimming album?
Yeah, his new album. So
No.
he has a
Haven't
new
seen
album
anything
called
about that.
Swimming out, and here,
Oh, it's out already?
yeah, for
Okay.
sure. It dropped August 3rd, I believe. So
Oh, shit. Behind.
there's some good and bad to this whole thing with him passing. His album actually rose to #1 on the charts with iTunes.
Of course.
You know, with the
I
whole
saw
passing.
streams were up 970%.
Yeah, and it sucks that it has to be because of the passing, and
course.
something like this magnitude happens.
We don't appreciate anything until it's taken away from
Until
us.
it's
You know what I
done
mean?
and
That's
gone.
today's
Yeah.
society. Everything is so in with the old, out with the new, next, on to the next, instant gratification. And then when someone dies, everyone wants to go back and appreciate them.
Totally.
That's just what it is today's society. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I just wanted to kind of bring up that point. So, congratulations, to Mac on that. But, gone too soon for sure at 2026.
Yeah.
Sound about right? Yeah, man, it's a big loss no matter which way you spin it. And,
Do you think it was, not to get too morbid or too or anything like that, do you think Ariana Grande played any factor in his substance abuse or continual substance abuse? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the breakup was tough on Mac. I think there's a lot to that, but I will tell you, as I did some reading over the weekend, a couple of Mac's closest friends came out and said that Ariana Grande was a big help in Mac's sobriety. So I find that interesting because I don't think you expected that spin on it. But as I read a little bit more in depth, some of Mac's closest homies have come out and said, hey, the relationship was tough. The breakup was tough. They always are, right? There's nothing easy about a breakup. But she was pretty big in his in advocating his sobriety. It sounded like as I read a little bit more. So that's cool, and I'm happy about that.
Do you think it's going to affect her relationship with Pete Davidson or anything like that moving forward, or affects her emotionally?
Yeah, I mean,
which
I think
bleeds into that relationship.
Yeah, I think they'll. Yeah, I mean, losing anybody, whether you're with them or not, but somebody that you've spent some time with, given your time up with and invest into. Yeah, man, that's unless you're just a real piece of shit.
Right.
I think that's monumental. If I lost any of my exes at this point, I mean, would I roll over dead and not be myself the next day? Absolutely not. But would I want to respect those people and the people that I lost? Absolutely, because I invested into them, and you know me just as well as my parents, my family. If I invest time, that's a big thing for me. So if I invest any time, any effort, put any work into anything, that's going to mean something now, and it's probably going to mean something later. So, that'd be hard.
Well
for me.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well said. All right, let's cheer up. Let's get the vibe. Let's get
get
the
it-
good vibe back.
let's get it
man.
going here.
I hate talking about people passing away and shit.
Yeah.
Man, great weekend overall. Tons of stuff to talk about. NFL football, more Eminem stuff. U.S. Open a little bit. The Kanye Lil Pump video. There's so many directions to go. Let's start with Ballers. I mean, let's just start with Ballers. There's so much NFL to talk about, so we'll get into that. We'll kind of get into that in the middle of the show, and then we'll give you our results from the spread picks, and then talk about the new or the upcoming picks for this weekend. We're only going to be dropping one podcast this week because of this situation, but it may go longer than normal. Normally, I try to keep them between an hour and a half. This one may go over 2. The GoPros may be dying, so if you're watching on YouTube, by the end of this shit, you may end up with audio only. I don't fucking know. I don't want to hear no complaints. I don't want to hear nothing about the glasses. I don't want to hear nothing, man. We're just trying to live. Can I live? Can I live?
Just trying to make some art.
Right,
God
exactly,
damn.
man.
Let us go.
Nah, let's go into Ballers a little bit. Did you catch it this week?
I'm a peacock. Let me fly.
Exactly.
Right?
Let me fucking fly.
Yes, I did, man. Ballers was awesome. First of all, the biggest thing I took from Ballers was Ricky. He's in the gym. He's hitting it hard.
Recap me a little, because I'm honestly thinking back. I'm trying to remember what happened. I know once you say it, it'll click with me. But I watched this shit Sunday night, so as we record this, it's Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As you guys are hearing this, it's probably Thursday.
Totally.
So I'm forgetting what the fuck happened.
So yeah, Ricky, just to give you a little background. So Ricky, obviously trying to make this comeback, and had a shitty tryout with the Rams with his boy Charles, right? And now he's in the gym. He's hitting it harder than what you would ever think.
Right, yeah.
He's actually training with one of his ex-Dolphins teammates who's giving him a hard time, right? I forget his name in the show. But
same thing.
They're pushing themselves with the ropes and they're pushing themselves with the squats. And, all of a sudden, his old teammate says to him, like, hey, man, tell me about the Rams. Tell me about Charles. Give me a little inside information because he's getting ready to try out for them.
Right.
And this is like Ricky's intense competition. This is his homie. This is a past teammate. And he, and it just shows this rigorous training session between these two. And then it ends with these high steps. And, of course, Ricky gets outdone on the high jump or the high
Not
step.
high steps. It's like first they're doing a step ladder.
Yeah, is that what it is? I don't know.
The rope ladder. You know the competition where they go in and out of the rope ladder?
Yeah,
the
for
rope
sure.
ladder on
like
the ground.
Kind of quick feet activities. I don't know all this. I'm not very good with this fitness stuff, man.
Then they're basically doing, no doubt. Then they do like a box jump.
Yeah.
To test height.
Yeah.
And that dude out jumps Ricky.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky puts it's not even a box in the show. It's like a cylinder.
Like a cylinder
pad.
rubber pad thing.
And Ricky jumps up on top of it, thinks he's the shit. This fool goes and stacks another one on top of it, then hits that and just looks at him and kind of bitches him up. Yeah. I wish it would have shown Rick doing that one because it really did make him look like a bitch.
For sure.
It looked like he kind of backed down, looked like he got outdone. He looked old.
Even if he would have missed it, it should have just shown him at least, getting it on. But totally.
And then what kind of happened with the agency and the rock stuff? I forgot about that.
Yeah, you bet. So to get into kind of Joe, the Spencer Strassmore's assistant, Joe has some issues with drinking, and some drugs at the first part of the show. But Joe actually has yet another meeting with Lance. Remember, and Lance says, "Hey man, let me give you 75 cents on the dollar. Let me buy back Sports X." And Joe says, "Okay, hey, hold on. Let me get with my boy Spencer and let me give him the offer." So at the end of the episode, it shows them, going into it and saying, "Hey, Lance wants to buy us back. We're probably going to lose between $8 and $12 million, but let's clean our hands. Let's wash our hands." And The Rock says, "Are you fucking ready to do this or not?"
That's right.
Are you ready to?
It's almost like they flip-flopped. Like The Rock was telling Joe, "Let's get out." The last episode, saying, "Let's get out of this shit. Let's just sell the company back to Russell Brand. Let's fucking be done with it. Let's lose the money." Mm-hmm. Now, The Rock is the one saying, "No, fuck no. We're not going." Right. Or at that time, Joe was like, "No, we're not doing anything. We're not going anywhere." Then he offers to buy the company back 75 cents on the dollar instead of 50 cents. Yeah. Now Joe is like, "All right, fuck it. Let's get out.
Let's do it."
And The Rock's like, "No, we're not fucking going anywhere. We're putting our feet in the sand, and we're drawing a line in the sand, if you will, and we're staying here. We're not going anywhere."
Essentially, let's soldier the fuck up.
Yep.
Let's get this thing grinding. And then the other thing to really just cap this whole Ballers episode off, I think the biggest thing was, The Rock or Spencer had an interview trying to get, Sports X out there and trying to get more plays, that kind of thing. So he goes to whatever agency and has a meeting with them, and they say, "Hey, you know what? Your show doesn't have it. You don't have any athletes. You ain't got nothing. We're not going to show you. We're not going to put you up, essentially." And Spencer says, "Well, how about we change the whole thing to college football?"
Yep.
And then, of course, in the meeting, they're like, "Oh, well, great, SEC, blah, blah, blah. We're making so many great moves here. We love that. We love that idea. Let's see what you can do, but only bring us big names. That's it. If you ain't got no big names, get the fuck out of here," essentially, is what it is. So now he's gone into this chick he's dating, which happens to be Q's mom, this up and coming
recruit,
recruit, right?
Yep.
So now he's
the hottest recruit in high school football,
Yeah, for sure. So now he's trying to get Q bought into this idea and get him as kind of the face of this new college football lock that they have and transitioning Sports.
And at first he wasn't having it. He was kind of being a dick. He's being a little dick kid, like
driving his G-Wagon.
Kind of being the dick kid, like get away from my mom type of shit, and just real passive aggressive. And then
I can't blame him for that.
Well, once he offers him a stock in the company to be a part of it, then all of a sudden he kind of loosens up, and
I'll have that slice of pie.
Right now he's all ears. He's all ears. So I'm curious to see. Do you know how many episodes they go with on the season?
I don't.
Do like 8
I
or
would probably
10?
say somewhere between 8. I think 8. Actually.
8 and 10, yeah. Somewhere between there. It's
but
gonna be
30
interesting to see where they go.
30 minutes just
such a quick show.
That's not enough, man. But I'll tell you what, they leave you pumped. They leave you so pumped to watch the next episode.
Like I said, I watched it Sunday night. Kind of had a rough weekend. Did you do anything fun this weekend? How was your life?
Yeah, man. Cool? For me, I didn't really
cop any shoes, anything like that.
Ooh, there was some of that. So I'll start off first of all. Man, my weekend was football heavy. Dude,
same.
opening week, man. We saw some great upsets, and the upsets really came from the new coaches. We can get into that a little bit later. But great football weekend for me, so very, very football heavy. Was the lady pumped on that? No, she understood. I set expectations. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that in a relationship.
But don't, you kind of have like a little honey-do list. Like you kind of get your chores done and shit before. I mean, it's not like.
Try to, try to.
I'm always calling you like, oh, yeah, you're doing, I'm walking the dogs. I'm fucking cleaning up, I'm vacuuming, I'm doing this. I'm like, damn, this fool's doing a lot to be able to relax.
We try to, man. Got to unload and load the dishwasher, just the random shit. But man. So we got football heavy on that. But I did have some recent cops, and then I want to kind of hear about your weekend. I know it was probably a little somber, but maybe give me some positivity through it. But I did have 3 cops. Caught one shoe on a restock. So S&S just did a restock on the Puma Thunder Spectras, man.
Oh, yeah.
I have wanted that OG colorway for a long time. And, dude, when that first dropped, people were paying 3 times the retail on that shoe. And I said, you got to be fucking crazy for that dad shoe.
No doubt.
But there are things that I like about that.
Are they dropping at all? Or are they still high?
They've dropped for sure.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, they've dropped below 200 now. And you're going to probably pay anywhere from 170 to 190 after shipping on StockX and GOAT. At least in my size, 10 and a half. So I was able to get retail on these from S&S. S&S did here recently just raise their shipping price to the U.S.
That.
It was 10, now it's 15. That kind of sucks. But again, I'm not a reseller, so losing $5 to have the shoe I want when they were paying 3 times retail, cool. I'm cool with it. Second cop, you know me, man. I love my shower curtains, right?
Yeah.
So I did just get the new Element 87, the dark grays, which released. Shit, man, those released 4 weeks ago. I think I was in New York still when those released, or on my way back from New York. But so those have been out for a while, but I wanted to wait for those to drop in the right price. I got them for $210 shipped.
Oh, nice.
So, and I still had GOAT credit with that, so nothing out of my checking, just out of my GOAT account. So I love that shoe. That's my 3rd colorway now. I've got both OGs, the black and the sail, and now I have this. So happy to have them. Love that shoe.
I think the gray was probably the most hyped. Like I think that's what a lot of people were really hyped on was the gray pair. Well, maybe the sail a little bit.
The sail was the most hyped. There's no doubt about that. The black is really rising. So the 2 OG colorways, the black is now starting to rise, and I think that's now damn near up in the 3 to 315 range.
Yeah.
But these other ones, obviously now they're not OG colorways, so I think they're just going to continually drop. So
you see my Instagram post on the Element or the React Jordan 1s?
Oh, I did.
Did
yeah.
you see that?
You know what? I didn't see the shoe that much because those fucking baggy ass camping hammer pants that were worn with it. I can't do it.
So where I got that was actually the shoe surgein put that up.
Yeah, for sure.
And he said coming 9/29. And I was like, what is he talking about? Are these releasing or is this like a custom he did and he's
probably a custom that he did, right?
I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So that makes me question even more like what is he doing? How is he letting that photo? Who's he got wearing not only the parachute sleeping bag looking pants, but they're wrinkled like a mug. Like everything about those pants is so terrible, but the shoe actually looks fire.
Yeah, it does.
If they made a React I don't even know if you call it Element, but I guess it does have the element to it. If they made a React Jordan 1 that looked like that, oh gosh, I would be jumping out the window for that shoe.
Yeah.
That thing looks fucking sick, dude. The way, because I like the concept of being able to wear different socks to change the look of the shoe and all that stuff. I just don't really like the look of the Element 87.
Really?
But if they used that technology on a Jordan 1, I'm jumping out the window for that. I'm going all in for that shoe.
Is it the Herpy Pods?
They don't have any of that. It's a regular Jordan 1
no, that's what I'm saying. Is that why you don't like the original
No,
Element?
no, that's not why. It's just overall, I'm not a...
Well, this shoe, you know what? So the shoe that you posted, what looks dope about it is the big-ass tongue. That kind of butterfly tongue.
Yeah.
Like that tongue is so large in this picture, and it looks like it's got some high-end leather touches, around where the laces go in, and then you have some of that exposure like you would on the Element 87s on the side, that kind of where the Nike swoosh is. Yeah, man, and very, very cool shoe. So it almost looks like a Jordan 1, a little bit of like the Chuck Taylor kind of vibe to it. Maybe even that Vulcan off-white.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it reminds me of an off-white sneaker.
It's kind of what it looks like. So just to kind of give the people a little bit of detail on that. But yeah, follow OMG. It's TTF. Instagram. Yeah. See that pic.
Check that out, man. If you don't know what we're talking about, just hit the Instagram page, look there. As far as my weekend, man, yeah, it was pretty somber. Honestly, it was really Sunday more, which was tough because I didn't find out the news about Drew until late Saturday night. So I worked here Saturday. Everything was cool. I was flowing through my day, running around the shop, trying to keep up with college football. Little CU Nebraska, big win for CU on the road, and stinking Lincoln. Love that shit.
Yeah, because we were concerned, right? Going into Nebraska, we talked about that last podcast, and
CU's looking good, dude. Mike McCartney's killing it up there, man. He's doing well. He got to see his son play. I think he caught a touchdown. That was cool. There's just a lot of positive things coming out of that for CU. CU is a program that went on the road against Michigan last year, took them into OT, almost won that game. They've been making strides for a minute, and I think they'll continue this year. I really like the way CU's looking. Nebraska's a team I told you I was worried about coming into Michigan, coming into Ann Arbor here, not next week, but the following, or not this weekend, but next weekend. Nice. We got SMU this weekend, and then we got Nebraska at Michigan. So that's going to be – I still think it's going to be a tough game, but it gives me hope thinking that maybe we're not going to get embarrassed at home the way CU beat Nebraska in their house. Right. So I was checking that game out. Didn't follow. Other than that, Michigan beat the shit out of Western Michigan. I wasn't following too much. Yeah. There wasn't a ton of big-time college football games. It's still really early in the college football season, so we got plenty of time on that. What else happened, man? Oh, shit has just been crazy lately, dog. Like, so a couple things, other things happened this week. I'm trying to enjoy the games on Sunday.
Sure.
Trying to enjoy. The homeboy above me gets a new washing machine, turns on the water upstairs, connects his new washing machine or whatever. I didn't know all this is happening.
Wait, he's doing it himself, or did he have somebody?
He got a new one. I think he's doing it himself. Okay. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he is.
A little DIY. You know how that works out for people.
Yeah, when he connects his new washer and shit, he pushes it back in there. Well, the hose comes disconnected, but it's still down in the wall, so he doesn't know. So he turns the water on to do some washing. I'm watching the games. I'm fucking chilling. All of a sudden, I hear like a waterfall. I look back in my condo because I could see my bathroom from the living room.
Sure.
And water's just pouring out of the fucking bathroom.
Oh, that's great.
Roof, dude, out of the trim and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I run back there. I see that water's coming out from behind the mirror, out of the trim, like running down the drywall. I'm like, what the fuck is this water coming from? You know? I'm like, oh shit, they filled up the bathtub upstairs and like forgot or something.
Right.
Like before my roof caves in, I need to see what the fuck's going on. So I like peel out of the bathroom, slide across the floor, run upstairs, boom, 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 knocking on the window or the door. Guy comes to the door. I'm like, hey man, are you filling the bathtub or something? Like water's leaking into my place. Like I'm talking so fast, he's probably not even understanding what I'm saying. And he's like a Puerto Rican dude, super cool. Yeah. He's like, no, bro, no, we're not filling the bathtub, nothing. And I'm like, well, water's leaking into my spot, bro. Like, what's up? And he's like, oh, the washer, we just get new washer. Oh, and he's like, oh, he goes and turns off the washer. He's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. He grabs like a bunch of towels. Fucking nicest guy in the world, dude. Like, just a super nice guy. Felt super bad. Comes running down with a bunch of towels, like that's gonna help. But I mean, it was cool, it was nice of him.
It's all behind the walls.
Kind of dried it. It was leaking out, so it was water, and he kind of dried it up a little bit. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? You know, like I'm already feeling some type of way about Drew. I'm just trying to relax, keep my mind off stuff, do some DraftKings, do some fantasy stuff, and then this starts happening. Then, dude, Mia. So my lady's at the crib. Mm-hmm. She is in a dress and high heels. And you know my stairs that you go down out of my complex when you're leaving?
Yeah, the stairs? You mean the lawsuit ready to happen?
Yeah.
What the fuck
awful.
Those
they're
are?
awful wooden stairs. Oh. She's leaving. She's going to walk down the stairs, bro. She has her purse. Okay. She has like some shoes and a bag and a bunch of shit in the purse.
Sure.
She goes to walk down the stairs, and I'm in my house, and all of a sudden I hear this boom, boom, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Tell me that's the washer.
Yeah, like what the fuck's going
Tell
on
me
now?
It's the washer.
You know? So I run outside, and I'm in my underwear because I'm about to like jump in the shower, you know, after I had cleaned all the walls up and cleaned everything up. And luckily, all the shit in my bathroom is good. Like I just had to repaint a little bit, do some touch-up shit. Everything is cool, luckily. But so I do all that, and I'm about to shower. She's jetting out to run some errands, and I hear that thump, and I'm fucking... Again, come peeling out, dude, sliding across the floor. I run outside, and I'm in my boxers. I'm like, no clothes on.
You're straight Tom Cruising. Risky business.
Exactly, dog. No dress shirt, though. No dress shirt.
Okay. Just boxers, that's it.
Briefs. I'm in Sumer boxers, bro, standing out on the fucking thing like, oh, shit, are you all right? You know, like, I don't even know what to say. And she's just walking away, and she's like, I'm fine, babe. have a good day. And she just walks to her car. I'm like, what the fuck? These two people are down there walking their dogs, this old white couple, like kind of shocked, like, oh my God, what's going on? Yeah. Then there's these people standing over by the dumpster, like throwing trash out and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, you know? And dog, she fell down these stairs in a dress, in high heels, with no fucking underwear on, pussy hanging out everywhere. I'm like, why didn't you have any underwear on? She's like, the ones I wore to your house, I was just going downstairs to grab a pair out of my car because I had, she brought an overnight bag or whatever was in the car. So she was coming back up. I thought she was leaving. I was jumping in the shower. I didn't know what was going on. So not only do I not know she's falling down the stairs, I didn't know she's falling down the stairs with no underwear on, wooden stairs, bruise on her ass. Everyone saw her cha-cha. Like, fucking, what is going on in this world? Like,
no wonder why that old couple was like, hey Hank, did you see what just happened?
It was so fucking bad, dude. It was so fucking bad. Like, it was not a good weekend overall.
So she's okay? Was she dizzy? Was she like a little groggy? Like, just... Wait.
So yeah, when she fell, she cut her elbow up pretty good. Okay. She bruised her ass, and then she like hit her head. So then she's like kind of concussed. You know what I mean? So she kind of had a little concussion. Yeah, no doubt. She wasn't feeling good. She was feeling kind of nauseous and shit.
You have to take her in the tent. Concussion protocol.
Yeah,
put her in the tent, man.
Blue tent.
Blue tent it up. Yep. Well, you know what helped her through this whole thing? Because I know a little bit about her, right? Not a lot. Yeah. Yoga.
No, she hasn't been to yoga since.
She was
supposed to go that night. She's like, my elbow's too fucked up.
Oh, see?
Her elbow's all fucked. She was feeling nauseous.
See? Had she been in the yoga game, maybe her injuries wouldn't be so bad.
Dallas?
I don't know. When I'm trying to think about my old lady and what she would say. She's like, well, here's the deal. If you're yoga, you're limber and you can stretch out, and maybe that'll help you not sustain injuries as bad because your body's more limber and easy to take it.
Here's how I would take it. Let's focus on walking down the stairs. Let's not do too much. We don't need to be doing yoga, doing any extra shit.
Here's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on your stairs. That's the problem. Yeah. I've been on those motherfuckers. Those things are a lawsuit.
It's not even like she had spike high heels. She just had like high heeled boots.
Like a wedge?
Yeah, kind of like a wedge. I would say that's probably most similar. It's like a pair of boots that have a heel on them. But she...
not the boots with the fur?
No. Boots with the... What'd you say? Oh, boots with the strap.
Boots with the strap?
Boots with the fur. Yeah, none of those. Okay. It was, So anyway, fucking...
Well, I'm glad she's okay, man.
Nightmare of a weekend.
Except for the bruise on the ass and showing a cha-cha.
Yeah.
I mean,
She was, like, super embarrassed, obviously. There's people standing out by the dumpster taking trash out that saw everything. The people down walking their dogs saw everything. And then the guy's, like, has the nerve to be like, oh, man, I'm so glad we were here. And I'm like, for what? You guys didn't fucking help. You guys didn't do shit, but just looked at her fucking pussy when she fell on the stairs. What the fuck are you talking about? You're so glad she's here. Get the fuck out of here.
So glad we were able to see that.
So glad we're here. I'm like, why would you make a remark like that when you didn't help her up? She popped up right away because she knew she had no underwear on. She was embarrassed as fuck. Right. Going down to get underwear. Oh, man. Yeah, it was a whole ordeal, dog. It was a nightmare. I was laughing about it. She was kind of mortified and embarrassed.
Totally.
Which makes sense. But overall, I felt for her. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even though I was laughing, I felt for her. So
that's a scary thing, man. Yeah, it could have turned into bigger things. So glad she's all right.
Not the greatest weekend. To add on to that, let's just add on to not the greatest weekend. DraftKings. Oh my Lord.
I was bummed.
Let me talk to you guys about the DraftKings situation real quick. DraftKings. When I set up this league, or it wasn't a league, I set up a contest. I'll get to the league in a second. When I set up this contest, I set it up to where you would be able to have 100 entries because you have to select an amount of entries. Okay. So, which sucks. Why can't just however many people join? You have to select an amount of entries. So I also wanted to keep it only people that watch the vlog and the podcast and follow us. I didn't want all of us playing against some random fucks and then winning all of our money.
Fucks, whatever it is. Yeah.
So exactly. So I restricted it and made it non-public so it wouldn't show up in the public and not other people can join it. So I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. I select 100 entries. I'm like, fuck it. 100 people join. That's cool. If we get less, that's cool. I didn't know you have to fucking hit 100 or they cancel the league.
So
that's what happened. Okay. When I set it up, I put in 100. We didn't hit 100 people, so the league just canceled.
Gotcha.
So, which is fucking stupid. So what I did now is I started a league. They have a new thing this year called leagues. I'm still exploring it. I'm still figuring it out. But from what I'm seeing, I started a league called the Most Underrated. Here's the good and the bad. The bad is I don't see a way for people just to go join. I would love if I could just tell you guys, go find the Most Underrated league. The league ID is blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Look it up and join. I wish I could do that, but it looks like you have to fucking invite them. So it looks like it's invite only. I got to go back, add all you fools to the group.
Okay.
But the good news is we'll all be in this league all together. If we want, if someone else, more people want to join throughout the season, that's fine. I can add you guys in as well. It'll be weekly contests, but that way, once I add you, we're all going to be in this league. I never have to like re-add you every single week. And I'm hoping that this gives us the ability to have more flexibility with contests within people in this league.
Yeah, versus having to go 100 minimum or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping that I have this worked out. I'm going to be adding everyone to the league here within the next few days. Everyone will be added by before Sunday. So don't worry. I still got all the usernames saved. I'm going to go through and re-add everyone. And then, it isn't a crazy amount of people. So that's good for me. If you do want to get in, you can still get in. Just DM me or Dallas your DraftKings username, or hit us the email, mostunderratedpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll get you in there. But I apologize to everyone on the DraftKings shit this weekend, man. It sucks. I was looking forward to it. I had a lineup that was going to fucking whoop you fools, and I was just ready to rock.
Yeah,
I was ready to rock.
I had a pretty strong one, too.
I was ready to shit on everyone.
I'd like to tell you that I was going to put in Fitzy.
Hold up. You were not going to put in Fitzpatrick.
I would like to tell you that, but that would have been a lie.
Everybody else.
That would have been a lie.
You and everybody else is about to tweet me.
I definitely did have Breeze in, and Breeze did some work. There's no doubt about that.
Did you – hold up. So did you do any DraftKings?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Okay, I did.
I just managed.
I did a fuckload of DraftKings.
Did you? I just managed 6 fantasy leagues. But
I managed 6 fantasy leagues?
How'd you do?
I did a fuckload of DraftKings. Went 4-2 in the daily leagues.
Okay.
What'd you do?
In fantasy?
Yeah.
I went 5-1.
Out of your season-long leagues, I mean.
Yeah.
5-1? Damn, I went 4-2.
So yeah, I just lost one, and I lost by like 1.5 points. It was one of
shit.
those fucking close ones too. I could have went fucking 6-0, man.
Damn. How many points you score in the one you lost?
129 point something.
Anything where you score over 110 and you still lose is brutal.
Well, check this out.
Depending on the league, I mean, depending on the scoring.
4 of my leagues, I was over 140. One of my leagues, I was at 165.
Brutal.
Dude, dog, one of my guys in one of my ESPN leagues,
That's points.
He actually used to run the Broncos locker room. He doesn't now. He does a bunch of other shit. But I'm new to his league. That motherfucker scored 199, dog.
Oh, fuck.
199.
He had to have Kamara, Tyreek Hill. He had to have all those fools.
He had them all, man. And it was and he had Rivers as his quarterback, who actually didn't look that great, didn't look that bad, but Rivers is going to get you your points.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
Yeah, man. So I was pretty happy with that.
I went 4-2, but dude, I fucking cleaned up in DraftKings. I had $300 in my DraftKings account.
This was from previous season, right? Because
all
your shit rolls over.
It was previous. I normally, how I do it, man, everyone gambles differently. Me, I have a certain amount of money every year that I start the season with.
Right.
Whether I use that for sports betting, I use that when we go to Blackhawk, I use it for DraftKings. I have that number set in my mind, what I'm willing to lose that year on sports gambling.
Nice.
If I lose that in the first 3 months, I don't gamble anymore the rest of the year. If it lasts me all year, great. If I lose it within the first 6 months, I don't gamble anymore. You know what I mean? So I know football. So I'm kind of conservative at the beginning of the year because I know I want to have money for DraftKings and fantasy and all the shit that I do. I just don't want to be pulling money out of my fucking bank account that's not allocated towards gambling. That's how you get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
You're spending up your fucking rent check and shit. So anyway, what I do is I have that money allocated. I started with $300 this year in DraftKings. I made a little bit of money in the NBA season. I was able to kick up on NBA playoffs. I did some shit there. I really like DraftKings NBA, especially in the playoffs. Not so much in the regular season. I would never recommend betting NBA or playing fantasy NBA during the regular season. Right. It's a recipe for disaster. There's no consistency. All these guys, you don't know if these fools are up doing drugs all night, partying with women. You have no fucking idea what's going to happen during the NBA season. There's 82 games. These fools are on the road every night fucking with groupies. You do not know what you're going to get.
Right.
You may go in you may have the Rockets playing a team like the Jazz. They're favored by 11 and they're fucking losing by 15. You're like, how do they lose the game by 15? They're favored by 11. Something like that on a random Wednesday night. It's just hard. Yeah. It's hard to bet NBA. I wouldn't recommend that. I bet I do like it during the playoffs though, because it's more consistent. You know what you're going to get.
I do the same thing.
Yep. So I started with 300 and I end up making my account right now is at $637.20. So I made $337.20
all right.
This weekend. So I felt really, really good about that. Just everything went right for me, man. I had Breeze, I had Tyreek Hill, I had who the hell did I get really low value on? There was someone. John Connor put up huge numbers, and he was like $4,500.
And that's why I won all my fantasy leagues. So, I picked him up because I had Bell in 3 of my 6 leagues. Right. So of course I picked up Connor like fucking a week and a half ago. You know what I mean? So.
So yeah, man, had a great. That was like the one thing that really went right for me this weekend was kind of fantasy. 4-2, not a bad start to the season in season-long leagues, and then $337 up on DraftKings so far this year.
Did you in either your DraftKings or in your fantasy leagues? Did you pick up or did you use anybody like Deshaun Watson who had a breakout game? Randall Cobb, old man Cobb, having that 54-yard plus TD from Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Did you have any like sleepers that really put you over the top this week?
I didn't use Cobb. I didn't use Deshaun Watson. I did use I guess, like I said, the value play, like you really had to play him.
Yeah.
Was John Connor. That was the guy that you just had to play
for sure
because of the fact that he was $4,500. And he was getting the amount of touches he was going to get. He's Le'Veon Bell type touches. You know what I mean? So you knew he was going to do well there. The weather was slick. It was rainy. It was wet. It was gross. That's always going to mean more carries for your running backs. They're always going to try to run a little bit more in those conditions than they are throw. So that really helped having him there out of the backfield. I'm trying to look up my old, there we go, my roster and see if I can figure out who I had. Really killed it for me. Yeah, so Breeze, 34. I had John Connor, 38. Alvin Kamara, 46. Then I had Michael Thomas, who did 42 with Breeze over there. Had him with the combo.
Yep.
Then I had Tyreek Hill. So I was on fire, dude. Like,
yeah, you couldn't lose with like if you're having like four or five of those elites, like, you can't.
I did have some duds because of those guys that cost quite a bit of money. All those guys cost quite a bit of money.
Michael Thomas costs a lot. Breeze costs a lot.
Yep.
Tyreek probably was pretty expensive as well. Yeah.
So I couldn't go Gronkowski at tight end. You know what I mean? Because you only have $50,000 in salary to spend. So I went with Jack Doyle. He only got me 12. I went with Rex Burkhead as the flex option. He got me 7. Patriots D got me 8. So I definitely had some guys that didn't score a lot, but the other guys that scored a bunch of points, they scored a ton. So it really made up for that for me. But I'm looking forward to doing DraftKings this weekend. Hopefully this shit works out the way it's supposed to work out. And we don't have any more issues moving forward with the season as I kind of create this league here. So that kind of wraps on fantasy. I'm cool on that. Anything more you want to say there? About fantasy football or moving forward with fantasy, any waiver wire pickups, anyone you want to recommend, anyone you want to throw out there for our audience may help them out. I know waivers just passed, but some of these leagues, man, it's crazy what kind of people, especially outside of Denver. I saw Philip Lindsay is only being used in like 2.8% of Yahoo fantasy leagues. And I know Philip Lindsay's a guy that really doesn't. He was an undrafted guy out of CU. We know him around here. He went quick in every single draft that I did.
Right.
He was gone by the 8th round at the latest. You know what I mean? And this is a guy that's not even named the starting running back in Denver, but he gets started. He had 17 touches, the same as Royce Freeman this weekend. Caught a ton out of the backfield, had a touchdown. I look for them to use Philip Lindsay in a Darren Sproles type role, in a Alvin Kamara type role as they did last year, not this year with Mark Ingram being out.
You bet.
It's obviously different. But that's a guy that I would recommend. Go pick up Philip Lindsay if you are if your league is sleeping and is not fucking know what's up with Philip Lindsay, man. Go pick that guy up.
I've got 2, and I don't think they're breakthroughs by any means in terms of most people haven't picked up. I was able to put one waiver in yesterday. To be honest with you, I haven't looked to see if I got him yet. But Jared Cook, tight end on the Raiders.
Cooker.
Dude, he looked phenomenal, right? And the Raiders looked pretty good the first half, and we'll get into that. But Cook, man, if you need a tight end, if he's somehow available on waivers, because he was in 2 of my 3, but I was so low on the waiver list on one of them, it's not even
because you're winning.
Yeah, so
when you're winning, you don't get any waiver priority.
The second one, if your league again was fucking sleeping, you wake the fuck up and you go get George Kittle,
dude.
100%.
I try to tell people
you told me to get him at the draft, and I picked him up in the fucking. Probably one of our leagues, like the 14th, 15th round.
Yeah, I was going to say after the 10th for sure.
Yeah, 14th round, I think, is when I picked up Kittle, and I just picked him up in a second one, man. So I think those 2 guys, and granted, they're the same fucking position, but I think tight ends with having Olsen go out with another fucking foot injury. I think these 2 guys. If you don't have Gronkowski, who's more of a wide receiver, these 2 tight ends are going to be great this year if they can stay healthy. And I know Kittle had that problem at the preseason and then into last year.
He looks to be healthy, though.
But he looks to be healthy. He looks good. And I think he's going to be one of Garoppolo's favorite targets.
In my fantasy research, doing mock drafts way before we even drafted, George Kittle was a guy that If you looked back towards the end of last year when Jimmy Garoppolo came in, the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, he ended up being a top 5 fantasy tight end in that time period because of the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo came in. Jimmy G won all, I think, 4 or 5 games he started at the end of last year. Whenever he came in, whatever that was, I don't remember.
I think it was like 6.
Was it 6? Was that high?
6, maybe, yeah.
So yeah, they had George Kittle, or I had George Kittle listed a lot higher than most people, and same thing. I was able to scoop him in a lot of leagues, but that's a guy you got to go get, man. Funny name, I get it, Kittle. Not a guy you're gonna, not a guy you heard a ton of unless you were deep in the fantasy research as I was. But it's not gonna be that funny if you're playing him. He's running you over.
I'm telling
scoring
you,
points this
he's
year.
the dude.
So you got to go get George Kittle. You got to go get Phillip Lindsay. Let me see. There's another guy I wanted to. Obviously, James Conner, that's kind of a really obvious one. I think he's pretty much rostered in all the leagues, or he should be.
Well, and Adam Schefter tweeted today that no Le'Veon still at the facility.
Did you hear last night? Did you see the report last night? He was out at a club in Miami and then a strip club in Miami.
Was he?
Yep.
Is that fool gonna end up in Miami?
I don't know. I don't think. I don't know where he's going to end up. It's still a little too early for the free agency stuff, but. What I do know is the Steelers have exclusive rights to Le'Veon Bell. So,
correct.
He's not under contract though.
And
don't mistake that for a contract.
And they removed the franchise tag, correct?
I think that's what gives them exclusive rights.
Okay, is that what
if
it is?
If they remove that, then I don't know how they have exclusive rights. I'm not positive on it, but I'm pretty sure he has to have that in order for them to maintain the rights to be able to sign him. Okay. Otherwise, he becomes a free agent. Yeah. Which is going to happen after this year anyway. So that's why he's kind of holding out. Do you think he's going to hold out the whole season, or do you think he's going to pop up week 8? You know what I mean?
I don't know, because here's the deal: you've got Pittsburgh, who's just going to run him into the ground. There's no doubt about that. They're going to use him and abuse him and pay him, what they want to pay him.
It's $14 million. He's missing $880,000 per game. That's insane.
Yeah.
After the first missing one of those, it's almost $1 million. I mean, that's over $750,000. After the first one of those checks, I would have probably reported last Saturday. Yeah. Got paid for Sunday, not played. Sure. And then rolled into week 2. That's what I would have done.
At first, I thought this week you might see him at least dress, and I mean not full pads necessarily, but he's in the full garb. But if he hasn't even, if Pittsburgh hasn't even seen him at the facility as of today, and you got to put Connor in, man. Connor's the new face, and we'll see how long that lasts.
If people are having quarterback issues, or let's say for me, I had Matt Stafford shit the bed. 8 points last Thursday night. Terrible.
Fucking 4 picks.
Right? I also had Matthew Stafford. So I'm sorry, Matt Ryan.
Okay.
So I had, it was a bad week for the doormats. Okay. Mats were doormats. Yeah. Stafford shit the bed. Ryan shit the bed last Thursday.
Yep.
Stafford on Monday. If you have either of these quarterbacks, do you rush out and get a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick who lit it up? Do you panic that quickly? What's your strategy?
I wouldn't panic that quickly, and I also wouldn't.
Dak Prescott. Maybe you got a guy like Dak Prescott shit the bed as well. Yeah. If you got any of these quarterbacks, are you going away from them and going to go get someone else?
No, it's too early, especially somebody like, let's go with Fitzpatrick, right? I don't foresee him having another game like that. I find that very, very hard to believe that he's going to have another 5 TD game. What was that rushing touchdown that he had? Was that over 30 yards? He had like a 36-yard rushing TD as well.
Put his head down.
Yeah, man, and he is a big guy. There's no doubt about it. But old man Fitzpatrick, I was baffled to see that. And if you put him in DraftKings and you're not fucking lying, good for you, because I don't know how you figured that out. I don't know how you connected any dots to that, but fucking good for you. But I wouldn't rush. But my problem, if we
let's be real. The Saints D hasn't been great.
No.
They've struggled mightily under Sean Payton, and especially the past 5 seasons.
And that's why you're going to allude to my picks here this week. But anyways, we won't go there. We won't go there yet. But check this out. Matt Ryan, I'm a little worried. If I have Ryan, I might be freaking out a little bit, because if we look at last year, the issues and opportunities that he had and couldn't cash in on, and now he's bringing that into this year as well. Okay, he overthrew Julio in the end zone on the second opportunity they had to win the fucking game. Okay, the Falcons and Matt Ryan have an issue. Okay, and Julio is the top receiver in the league. Arguably.
When you say have an issue, are you saying Matt Ryan is the issue?
I think Matt Ryan is more of the issue. How are you overthrowing Julio, dog? He is the most. He can go one-on-one with any fucking defensive back, cornerback in the league, It does not matter. And he will win 90% of the time on a one-on-one matchup. But you're going to overthrow him out of the fucking end zone and not even give him the chance?
And it was bad because a lot of the balls weren't even close. Even the deep ball down the sideline, he had to go. It wasn't like he didn't put it on him. He had to like go over his other outside shoulder, drifting toward the sideline. Like every time he threw a ball to Julio, it was always like he had to make some acrobatic.
It was gross.
Or put in some extra effort to make the catch.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and maybe that's Thursday night. I'm not jumping off the guy for one. I can't. I have him on my fantasy team. I'm not, I'm going to bail on him after week 1. I'm not going to lie to you. I did go pick up Tyrod Taylor though.
Oh,
I went
you
and
got
picked
Tyrod.
up multiple leagues. In both leagues that I have Matt Ryan, I went and got Tyrod Taylor. Also in the league that I got Matthew Stafford. You know why? Dak Prescott was my backup in both those leagues. I was like, fuck, both these guys are awful. I got to do something.
You had to make some moves, for sure.
Plus, guess what? Tyrod Taylor plays the Saints this week. The same Saints defense that Ryan Fitzpatrick just lit up. So if he can't do it through the air, he's still going to have success through his legs. I like Tyrod Taylor this week starting against the worst defense in the league, the New Orleans Saints. I don't know if that's statistically true, but in my opinion, it's true. Yeah. Speaking of Saints, if you're short on wide receiver, go get Teddy Ginn. That's another one of my waiver wire pickups this week. Go pick up Ted Ginn. He's opposite of Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is obviously going to draw a lot of coverage over there. Brandon Cooks being gone, Ted Ginn slides into that number 2 role.
Easy.
That's going to be a guy that the Saints are going to have to throw to keep up, period. I mean, if week 1 is anything like this season's going to go for the Saints, they're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to be throwing a ton. Why not have a guy like Ted Ginn? Pick him up. Maybe you need to, even if you just pick him up and you have him on your bench, you need someone to, maybe you have someone in case of an injury. You have someone for bye weeks, something like that. I think Ted Ginn is a big-time pickup this week. And then go into the running back position, T.J. Yeldon with the injury to Leonard Fournette. Did you see that?
I did, hamstring, right? And I have Fournette in 3 of my 6 leagues. So, hell yeah, I felt that.
So, Fournette, I don't know if that was something. Did you draft Fournette at all?
No.
Your leagues, me either. I stayed away from Fournette.
No, I did. Not in DraftKings, but I have Fournette in 3 leagues.
Shit.
I went Fournette heavy, man.
You're in
So I
trouble.
went Breeze heavy and Fournette heavy. So yes, I am in trouble. He had the ankle injury last
Did you
year.
get Yeldon?
Yes, I got Yeldon in 1 of the 3, though.
Okay.
So I did have a little bit of backup in that. But, dude, I've got, what is it, Matt Breida? From San Fran.
Breida,
So I've got Breida as a backup. I've got some nice.
How did he do week 1? I didn't follow up.
He
on
did
his.
okay. I
don't
think he 9.5 points
Okay.
roughly.
Decent.
So not what
He's
you
splitting
need.
carries.
Yeah.
With Alfred Morris down there.
Yeah, and I think Breida is going to get most of it as the as the year progresses. But Morris is still the guy, at least for now.
Fournette's a guy that I stayed away from on purpose. I hated that he had the ankle injury last year. He's had the ankle injuries in college. I thought for sure it was going to be another ankle this year. I knew at some point it would come. I honestly thought it would be at least week 4 or 5 he would get injured. But it came in week 1, and it was a hamstring. Wasn't an ankle. But still, the reason I stayed away from him, he's going to miss time. He gets injured easy. He gets banged up easy. He's not a guy that, so far, I mean, he's not showing you that he has any kind of durability.
Right.
So I wasn't going to choose him where he went. Where'd you get him? 2nd round? 3rd round?
3rd round.
Yeah.
3rd round.
I guess that's not bad value, but still at the end of the day.
The end of the 2nd on 1 of them, and then top of the 3rd on 2 of them. Yep.
If he's not healthy, then he's no good to you. So I love that you have him in 3 leagues. That makes my heart really happy that he's injured.
Yeah, because we're in 2. We're in 2 of those together. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you have him in 2 of the ones we're in together?
Yeah, of course, man. Danko's league and Dick Mittens, man.
Let's go. I like that. So those are my red hot pickups, man. Phillip Lindsay, Ted Ginn Jr., T.J. Yeldon. Those are the guys that I suggest you run out and get right now. The other guy that I would suggest it's more of a deeper league pickup, and this is someone that if you have room, go roster this guy and sit him on your bench, because just like Leonard Fournette, Melvin Gordon is going to get injured. Yeah. He's going to have injury concerns this year. Austin Eckler. Go pick up Austin Eckler. He had a really, really good week 1. Caught, I think he had 5 catches for 87 yards out of the backfield, 39 yards on 5 carries. Now, that's just not splitting time, but that's just eating into Melvin Gordon's time. But imagine if Melvin Gordon goes down, which we know he's going to. We know he's going to get injured. Boom. Austin Eckler slides right in. Colorado kid. I don't know if you know that. He's a Colorado product. So if you're not up on Eckler, go get Austin Eckler off the waiver wire. Stash him on your bench and slot him in when Melvin Gordon gets hurt.
I got one other person for you. So you have franchises picks, and then you heard mine, which was Jared Cook was one off the waiver wire. George Kittle, we talked about him. My
Look at you, all tight end heavy.
I love tight ends.
They're tough too. They're tough this year. They're tough
Kelsey
this year.
shit the bed week 1, so we'll see what he does. But let's get outside of that.
Shit the bed. A lot of tight end play was tough.
In a PPR, I think Ertz had 9, but in a non-PPR, you're looking at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so my receiver, I want to do a top receiver that is only owned by like 59% of the leagues. Okay, Mike Williams from the Chargers.
Really?
I like Mike Williams. I believe he had 5 of 6 targets and 81 yards. So just like your guy who had 87, this guy was right there. And you know Rivers is going to throw. Rivers is definitely heavy with throwing, and that's how they're kind of like New Orleans. That's how they make a lot of their bread points is by receiving. So Mike is not owned very heavy. He's about just over half, 59% owned. So I would put him on the bench. I would hold on to him, and I see big things for Mike Williams. Him and the Chargers, man. I think that's going to be a big win here.
Do you think? Now, you're saying stash him on the bench, or you're saying he's a starter right away?
No, I would stash him on the bench for a couple more weeks, kind of see what happens. But, I don't even know if he's a free agent. You might even be able to get him as a free agent in some leagues. I don't even know. But I would pick him up, and I would stash him for a week or two just to kind of see. I mean, he had 81 yards.
Who do they got out there? Who's Rivers throwing to? Who's he competing with for time over there? Or is he the number 2? Is he number 3 receiver?
I think he's number 2
in Charger land?
Yeah.
Because obviously you have Keenan Allen, who's your number 1 guy.
Right. He is the number 1.
And then
what round was Keenan going in? Was he going in the 5th, 6th?
Yeah, it was
roughly?
I mean, he was a top 10 receiver on all the list that I had. Keenan Allen was top 10.
Gotcha. I might have Mike Williams as a 2. Is that what you're seeing?
Still loading
2,
here.
possibly a 3.
As far as fantasy or on the team?
On the team, in the depth chart.
Okay, so that would slot him more like a wide receiver 3 in fantasy.
Because
who's
the other one? Is it Davis? What's his? It's spelled really weird.
I didn't see any of the Charger shit.
I think it's.
I don't have any Chargers.
I believe it to be Jeremy Davis, spelled with a G. So I think he would be your 3rd. So
okay.
Mike Williams is slotted as a 2 on the depth chart. So
okay.
I'd pick his ass up. You play him, not. He had 81 yards. He caught 5 of 6 targets last week. So that's my pick as well, on top of my tight end heavy.
So you got your tight ends, you got Mike Williams.
Yeah.
I gave you guys mine. Also, as always, man, if there's any fantasy questions, anything like that, you can hit us up on social media. You can Twitter, Instagram, at Dal Palantonio, at OMG It's TTF. We can kind of try to help you guys out as much as we can, help your rosters out. I know it's early, so everyone kind of thinks they know what's going on, but later on in the season, as things start to get muddy, as people start to get injured, as you're going to have to go deep into the waiver wire and try to pull out wins and make desperate pickups.
That's the only way to win fantasy.
That's the only way.
You know that.
Yeah, the draft. Honestly, the draft is 25% of your.
I agree.
Of your league.
Your team is going to be 50% different usually
no
by
doubt.
end of season.
You end up with. I mean, you have 3 guys that are the same as when your team started. You know, what I mean? Look at me. I'm already panicking at quarterback. Yeah. I'm about to get rid of both the Matts already after week 1. I'm not going that crazy. I think the Lions defense is equally as bad as the Saints, maybe just a little better, but not much.
Yeah. Which is weird because Patricia is always really defense heavy.
Right.
So
right.
Well, but Ziggy Ansah is out most of the game. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think he left second quarter or something like that. Shoulder, I believe. So Ziggy Ansah, that's where 60% of your sacks from Detroit is coming from him.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a little worried about Detroit's D.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move into some NFL, man. What did you like over the weekend? What did you not like?
Oh man.
As far as John Gruden, some coaching changes, things like that. We were talking about a stat before the podcast started, before we started recording here today, that all 7 of the the new NFL coaches this year, all 7 lost.
Yeah, is it 7 or is it 6? I think it's 6. Let me
6, and is Gruden included in that 6?
Yeah,
he's considered a new coach.
Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. They're considering Gruden definitely a new coach. So let's see. So here's what I liked as I'm pulling this up. John Gruden. So let's talk about him. The first half, he outcoached the shit out of Sean and the Rams,
McVay,
I believe. Yeah, McVay. So John made all the right calls. He got real heavy with Lynch. Lynch had some breakout yards. He had the TD. Shit, he carried both teams into the end zone. His first TD, which was awesome. But I thought Gruden did a hell of a job the first half, and then forgot about everything. And then, you talk about Derek Carr, who I'm not heavy. I have never, since Derek Carr came into the league, I have never drafted Derek Carr for a fantasy quarterback, not even as a backup. I just don't like what I see.
Do you not like him for fantasy, or do you not like him as a franchise quarterback for your team in general?
I would say both for me.
So you're saying the Raiders should move on. They should start getting someone in the pipeline. They should start developing someone.
So I can't say that, but for fantasy, let's just talk about that. He's not my guy. I don't like what Carr does, but as a franchise quarterback, let's see, because I know Gruden can teach Carr a lot, and I know that relationship's already strong from what I'm reading. They love each other. They have a great relationship, and I think under the tutelage of Gruden, maybe we can see Carr's immense artillery of weapons. But for fantasy, I do not like him one bit. I stay clear away from him. But to get back to the game, Derek Carr obviously made quite a few mistakes, during that game, especially in the second half. And I just think they lost everything with their offense, their defense. You had the picks. I think Sean obviously outcoached Gruden in the second half, and the Rams, the possession was unreal in the second half. Rams versus Raiders. So that's what I would say about that.
Couple things. You're giving it sounds like you're giving John Gruden a lot of blame for this loss. Mm-hmm. How much are you putting on Derek Carr versus John Gruden? Are you giving 50-50, or who are you putting more blame on first? Number one.
It's tough. I think for me, probably a little bit more on Carr. I think he made some not great decisions in there. And I like I said, I'm concerned as a fantasy owner.
That's the direction I'm going. I'm blaming more Derek Carr than John Gruden.
Derek Carr just made some bad calls, made some bad, he didn't look good with the pressure, and there wasn't an immense, a lot of pressure on him, but he didn't look good under pressure. He just didn't look good. Especially in the second half is what I would say. Now, that being said about Gruden though, $10 million a year, $100 million contract. I expected a lot more. It's your first game, in Oakland. You got Chucky back, and you have a great story to tell. But when I saw this game, I'm like, holy shit, man! Is Gruden already in Vegas? Is his mind already elsewhere? That's kind of how I felt the second half.
I honestly think he's cleaning up the squad. He's going to do what he wants with it. He's not really concerned about this year. Obviously, you see that with the way he dealt Khalil Mack.
Right.
Some of the other free agent moves he's made. They're the oldest team on the in the NFL as far as your opening day roster at 28 years old, average age. That's the oldest in the NFL right now. Here's what was kind of a little bit shocking to me when I looked at the stats. When I looked it up, I saw Derek Carr had 303 passing yards in the game, and I was like, wow, that's actually not bad. That's actually better than I thought he did. Obviously he had the interceptions. The last one was a killer, but or not the last one, the one that really broke the game open to Corey Littleton.
Right.
But anyway, 303 passing yards. Yet Amari Cooper, Jordy Nelson, and Seth Roberts combined for 5 catches, 43 yards. How does that happen? Your weapon between forget Seth Roberts, between Amari Cooper and Jordy Nelson. Who the hell is he throwing to? 303 yards. If those guys combine to make 5 catches for 43 yards, I honestly need to go watch the game back, because was he just dumping it down underneath? How many catches did Jared Cook have? How did he get 303 yards and those 3 guys combined him for 43?
Right.
Makes no sense to me. That's why I put this loss more on Derek Carr than I do John Gruden. I don't listen to him. I said this before the season started. I don't think the Raiders are going to be good this year. I think John Gruden's tenure there is going to be a disaster. I don't think it's going to end well, regardless if it's in Oakland or Vegas. I think he's a little bit out of touch. I think his philosophies kind of falling on deaf ears. I think his lack of communication with players that are a little bit disgruntled or unhappy, aka Marquette King, Khalil Mack, his ability to just say they don't want to be here, we don't need them. They don't want to be. It feels too much like he's trying to be Belichick, without the Belichick resume.
Sure. Let's
not try to compare what Bill Belichick's done and what John Gruden's done. I realize Gruden's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done nearly what Belichick's done. And it feels Belichickian. Yeah. His approach feels like he's trying to be New England West out there.
I feel a little dictatorship in there. Hey, I think he's trying to build a great culture. I think that's what you're alluding to. This culture of hey, we're a winning team. We're going to do it together, blah, blah, blah. But I see him almost doing it in a dictator fashion. Oh, cool. You said something about us. You're holding out about us. Cool. You don't want to be about the team. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Plus, you have an expensive-ass contract, Khalil. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want that. So I think there's a little bit of rush judgment with that and a little rashness that I don't like, but that's my opinion.
Do you think so now, I mean, they just paid Carr $125 million 2017.
Yep.
You're talking about moving on from him as the franchise quarterback. How long do you think that takes for them to move on, or do you think they even move on at all? Do they try to ride it out with this guy?
No, they're going to ride it out with this guy.
Yeah, they paid him too much money.
Yeah, paid him too much money. That contract is
I don't
fire
know
as
what
the
the
day is
guarantee
long.
was on it, but I just remember it was $125 million.
No, that is the franchise quarterback. There's no doubt about that. But I think there's opportunity. But that's what I would say to that. What did you think of? Let's talk about some of the coaches. So we talked about Gruden, right? So these 6 coaches or whatever that, or actually the 7 new head coaches. Sorry about that. Let's talk about some of the things that were there any coaches that you did like, because all 7 took L's.
Yeah.
This first week.
Give me the list. Do you have a list?
Yeah. So we've got John Gruden, right? Number 1. We have Matt Nagy.
Yep,
Okay,
Bears,
from the Bears.
Bears head coach.
Yep, we have.
Wait. Let's stop there. Let's go into the Bears game for a second. That game, prime time, Sunday night. We've talked about Sunday night, how much we both love the product. We think it's the best product.
It is the
They
greatest.
just do such a great job, Collinsworth and Michaels.
And you can and people
in
clown.
Lambeau Sunday night. I'm not really a fan of either team.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to throw a
But
turn
rivalry,
down.
that's one of
Right.
the biggest, man, old school rivalries out there, right?
Never going to turn down an old school rivalry, Sunday nighter in Lambeau. Honestly, I was watching the beginning of that game, the first quarter and a half, and I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
Everything's just going right for Chicago.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack's having the game of his life.
Chicago was icing him. Yeah, he takes the ball away, not even strips it, just takes the ball away.
Yep.
And then there was a tip drill, and he catches the ball, runs it in, pick 6.
Yep.
Right? Unbelievable game.
Of course, I'm playing against Khalil Mack in my league where we have an individual defensive player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you choose one IDP player, one
Gotcha.
IDP. So it's just individual defensive player in that
So you were
league.
fucking mad.
Yeah, so I'm obviously pissed off. Khalil Mack's crushing it, putting up 20 fantasy points or whatever the hell he did. My guy, I don't even know who the hell. I had like Telvin Smith from the Jaguars, linebacker from the Jaguars. He got me like 6. Awful. I need to upgrade there. I'm in the process of scouring the waiver wire to find a new individual defensive
Good
player.
man.
But Khalil killed it. I thought for sure, I was like, this is done. All the Bears they come out like this, gangbusters. Mitch Trubisky's running for touchdowns, and then Rodgers goes down. I'm like, this is it.
Holy shit, this is it.
This is over.
Yeah.
Deshaun Kaiser has to come in. Brett Hundley's no longer there. Deshaun Kaiser is basically Brett Hundley 2.0. I think
Coming
they're-
from
they're
Cleveland
like the
bullshit.
same guy.
Yeah.
Kaiser comes in. I'm like, man, this is done. This is in the bag. Bears got this. And then I don't know what it is. Something about Aaron Rodgers coming back after the knee injury, hobbling around. It just bothered me. I don't know what it was. It just felt so bitch made. Like, you're good or you're not good. Like, you don't have to keep playing. It felt like he was playing it off. It felt like he was like jumping around on purpose and like, I don't know. It just felt contrived.
Couldn't get that
feel
foot
real.
planted, acting. He acted very well, and
Do you think it was acting? That's just the way I feel. If you don't feel that way, I mean,
I don't feel like it was acting. So Collinsworth kind of zoomed in on his knee to try to see if there was anything in there, and it looked like there was a bar or something,
Like some kind of brace,
some sort of brace in there, and it was really small. But whether he was, sure he was in pain, man. I saw, you have a 300-pound fucking lineman fall on you. It doesn't even mean if they fall on you wrong. If they fucking fall on you, that's gonna fucking
maybe
hurt.
I'm just over Aaron Rodgers getting injured.
So, but here,
train.
I would tell you with Aaron Rodgers, I think he fucking hurt himself. Yeah, he's playing it out a little bit. The drama, the Sunday night, he's coming back. But man, that motherfucker can win.
Didn't you think that in the
God?
Did you
damn.
when you saw him coming out of the tent and you saw them coming back and it's like, okay, maybe he's gonna play?
Yeah.
Didn't it cross your mind like, oh fuck, here we go. They're setting this up to be the greatest comeback ever.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the whole comeback against Seattle where what's his name? That was where he threw that Hail Mary up in the corner of the end zone. Oh, I guess it's happened against Detroit
Seattle.
as well, too.
Yeah.
It's happened multiple
But
times. It
everybody
reminded
knows-
me of one of those
Everybody
situations.
knows the Seattle one, though.
Right,
Yeah, for sure.
That's the big one.
So it was a setup, and you know what? I fucking loved every minute of it, man. I enjoyed the shit out of it because Rodgers, he's not my favorite quarterback by any means in the league, but I respect Rodgers. He's got one of the most insane winning attitudes out of any quarterback, out of any player in the league. Like, that guy fucking hates losing. He is the epitome of winning. And I'll tell you this, he's going to stay a Packer for life, I believe. Maybe as he fizzles out in his career, maybe something happens.
This is it. This is the last of his contract. He's 35 years old. He's going to be 35
He's a Patriot he's a Packer for life. I love Rodgers' attitude. He's inspirational. He's good. He throws it well. He's got a hell of an arm.
I hate Rodgers.
And here's the deal. If Rodgers isn't in the league, he's injured, right? He's out of the league. He's injured. Football's not as good. That's my opinion.
He's definitely better for the game,
he is better for the game.
I just
he's
can't
a winner.
He's
awesome. And I'm not even a big fan.
You don't think he's smug? No. You don't think he's a little smug?
No.
Like he's a little bit, I'm above you kind of thing?
I've never met him, but
he seems smug as fuck. Even to the reporter, he just seems smug.
And you know what's crazy? I don't even have any
walking into the stadium, the interviews. I don't like it.
Man.
Something about him I don't like. I can't even put my finger on it.
Do you not like his girlfriend, Danica Patrick?
I do like. I like Danica.
She's fire, huh?
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
But what I would tell you with Aaron Rodgers is he's just the epitome of a winner in my opinion. And I don't even have any bias because I didn't fucking even try to draft him. I didn't draft him this year. I didn't draft him last year in fantasy, but I like the guy. I like what he brings. He makes the team better. If he's not there in Green Bay is the fucking new Cleveland Browns without Rodgers.
Right.
So I like Rodgers.
You can say that about any team with a franchise quarterback.
Rodgers is the man. That's what I think.
Worst. I hate Rodgers. I don't know what it is. I can't even tell you. It's
You don't like him because his smug ass attitude?
Yeah, I don't
Give
like
me
him.
something a little bit stronger than that. At least be like, you know what, man? Hey, here's the deal, buddy. Danica Patrick, I'm just fucking jealous. Okay, I can deal with that.
I hate the attitude he gets when he starts losing. When he starts it's almost like a little bit of crybaby style.
Dude, I've played flag football with you.
Yeah.
You don't get crybaby style.
I get real competitive.
You get fucking really angry and upset.
Exactly. I'm competitive.
How do you not?
He doesn't get angry and upset. He gets crybaby.
No, I don't think so.
Not as bad as Paxton Lynch, but he's...
If anything, he just fucking starts hucking them into the end zone, and they get lucky, and they fucking win.
I don't know. He gets that kind of look on his face. He gets that kind of... I don't know. There's just something about him. He's not even close to on Tom Brady's level. He never will be. That guy is the GOAT. That guy is a winner. That guy gets competitive. That guy's over there motivating his teammates in their fucking face, in the receiver's face, looking at plays, telling them what's going on. Rodgers is like this. After he throws a pick, he's like kind of like Jay Cutler. He just stands there like this. Hands up. If you're not watching the YouTube channel, hands inside his shoulder pads like this. Just looking around, looking at the field, not talking to anyone, not talking to his coaches, not trying to get better, not looking at what we can do to get better. What can we do on the next series? Hey, my bad, guys.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's always someone else's fault. It's never Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
It's never his fault. He just fucking, hey, I'm just here. I'm just here to throw the ball. I'm just here to throw the ball, and guys had a good night.
And Brady's over there on the sidelines trying to pump everybody up, and he can't even get fucking bumps back. He can't even get handshakes back.
People are busy. People are busy.
Hey, we all respect Tom Brady, but ain't nobody trying to hang out with that.
We're gonna agree to disagree. I don't like Rodgers.
Ain't nobody trying to hang out with Brady. So, anyways, let's move on. How about Matt Patricia?
I didn't see a ton of the Lions game because I was working and it started
Good.
at 5
You didn't
o'clock
miss
Mountain
shit.
Time. Yeah, it was.
You missed nothing.
I did see the beginning and I was like, oh shit, the Jets are in trouble. Pick 6 right off the jump. I was like, they're in trouble.
Yeah, Sam Darnold first throw.
Yep.
After that, he was on fire.
Yep.
Sam Darnold, great. But Matthew Stafford, man, hey, shout out to all you guys that drafted Matt Stafford this year. Good luck.
That's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
No, he's fine. It's week 1.
I hope.
Fine.
I hope he gets it figured out because guess what? He got the shit beat out of him that game too.
He did. That's what makes me nervous. That's another reason I went to pick up Tyrod Taylor because I wanted to make sure that my team was
he
set
got
if he's injured.
beat up. This guy was limping around. The Jets were taking advantage of him defensive wise the whole game with pick sixes, 4 of them to be exact. And dude, they just the Detroit's offensive line could not protect Stafford at all. It was unbelievable.
How do you feel about Sam Darnold? You ready to anoint him the next All Pro?
The next Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I think he did a great job. I think for as young as he is, I think he's the youngest quarterback on the field. Am I right with that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Youngest quarterback
yep.
right there.
Yep.
Youngest
I did do
starter
that. Yep.
as of right now. So I think he showed a lot of maturity. I think his pocket presence was really good, man. Did you watch any of it?
I didn't see enough to really give a full grade on him, but here's what I will tell you. I don't need to see enough to give him a full grade. It's week one. It's week one in the NFL.
Sure.
The kid's had one game. I'm not ready to anoint him the greatest thing ever. I'm not ready to anoint him that he's going to win the Super Bowl and All-Pro and MVP, nothing. I'm not even ready to give him Rookie of the Year candidate. You know what I mean? He's played 1 week. Yeah. Look at a guy like Dak Prescott. Look at the week one he had. Look at the first season he had.
Look at the year
right?
he had. Yeah,
he had
first season.
Incredible first season, right? What did he do last year? Not shit. What's the start he's off to this year?
Not
terrible.
Shit.
So we need to fucking pump the brakes on calling people all pros and the greatest, or they're going to have a great career. We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's one game in. Dak Prescott had a whole year of great stuff.
Totally.
And now he's looked like shit ever since.
Well, and I definitely
once people figure you out, things happen in the NFL. Things don't stay the same. Things continually happen and things continually change. Teams are always trying to figure someone out. They're always trying to figure out. And once he gets figured out, how is he going to adjust? Because Dak Prescott hasn't adjusted to shit. He's been figured out, and he's been terrible.
Well, just so we know, I'm not on his train. I'm not saying Sam Darnold's the new. I'm not saying Darnold's the new savior by any means. But I'm happy for the Jets. This was a great fucking win. The defense, more than anything, won that fucking game. There's no doubt.
That's that's another thing. I think it was a great all-around team win. I don't think it was a Sam Darnold win.
The defense played lights out.
Right.
Now, again, it was against fucking Detroit offense. Okay, you have Tate, which didn't have many catches until the latter part of the game. I just didn't see a lot of great offense, and it starts with Stafford. Stafford was making a lot of mistakes.
What about Todd Bowles? Is he on the hot seat over there in New York? He, more than anyone, I feel like, needed this win.
Yeah,
Do you think if they have another bad year this year, he's out?
He's out.
Yeah.
If they have another bad year. But what's funny is, you read a bunch of different stuff, and, of course, there was this one article that says, man, could the Jets win their fucking division this year? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. You got the Patriots? Get out of here, Yep. So, try not to read too much into it. It was a team win. They looked really good. I like what I saw from the Jets, especially from the defensive side. And God bless the Jets, man. They're almost as bad as the fucking Browns, and it's good to see the Jets have a nice team win.
What are the other losing head coaches? We don't have to go into every single game. I just kind of want to talk about those.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about the Colts too much, but Frank Reich.
Game.
Yeah, Frank Reich is one of the newer coaches. Then you have Pat Shurmur, the Giants.
Yep.
And then you have Mr. Mike Vrabel with the Titans, and then Steve Wilkes with the Cardinals. So
those are the
those are the top 7 that all lost. You have anything to say about those guys?
Same again. What were the teams? The Colts, obviously.
Yeah, the Colts.
Andrew Luck coming off the injury there.
Yeah.
What was the next one?
Pat Shurmur.
No, what team?
Oh, sorry. The Giants.
Giants.
The old Coughlin regime.
They should have won that game.
Yeah.
That was a game that the Giants had in control. Saquon Barkley looked good. Mm-hmm. I was actually kind of shocked that they ended up losing that game. I thought the way they came out, the way the game started. It's so weird. How does Eli Manning have 2 Super Bowls? Do you ever watch him and just think that? Like, how did this guy?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't show it during the regular season at all.
No.
He shows up in the playoffs from time to time, but it's very surprising to me when you watch Eli Manning. I'm never like, this guy is a franchise quarterback. This guy's great, And again, granted, I mean, Jacksonville Jaguars did make it to the AFC Championship last year. They have pretty much the same personnel. It's not like they're a bad team. But I thought they had a chance to close it out there against Jacksonville, and they just couldn't get it done. What were the other 2 coaches, or the other teams?
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel with the Titans. That was a terrible game. It was 10 hours long. Hurricane delays. Rain delay. I couldn't keep up with that game.
Yeah, that game
all I know
was
is
too
Delaney
much.
Walker's out for the season, who was one of my tight ends.
And Mariota.
Mariota's out. He's out.
What happened with Mariota?
I don't know.
Mariota had some sort
I knew he was injured a little. He had a little banged up, but I don't. Is he like? Have you seen any?
I haven't seen if he's out. He might be listed as questionable. I'll have to look. But
no way. I'll know. I would have known that, right? Mariota.
I don't think he's questionable.
But
I
don't know.
I would worry a little bit about him. Because he got beat the hell up.
He is questionable. You're right. Shit.
Is he? And aside from that, what do you got? Steve Wilkes with the Cardinals.
Hold up, Mariota. He suffered an elbow injury.
Elbow. Okay.
That's how much I paid attention to that game. 0. I didn't give a shit about that game, especially once Delaney Walker went out. I was like, there goes my fucking day.
Yep. And he's out for the year, correct? Delaney?
Yeah, Delaney's done. Mariota's week to week out with injury.
We've been talking about a lot of tight ends today. Maybe that's me.
Yep.
But
what is that? What were the other ones?
Steve Wilkes with the Cardinals. But hey, here's the deal. We
no
all
quarterback.
knew. No quarterback. It's a rebuilding year all throughout the Cardinals.
Team.
They've got no D. They've got no offense. They've got no quarterback.
I was laughing at everyone that took David Johnson so early. I was like, they have no quarterback. They're just going to put 9 in the box and stuff him, just like they did with Ezekiel Elliott. You see the day he had Sunday?
Yep.
Nothing. And it's because no one's scared of Dak Prescott. They're not opening up the offense.
Yep.
So Dak Prescott stepped into a great situation behind a great O-line with a great running back, and now he's been figured out. He can't complete passes. No one's scared of his deep ball, and they're just stacking the box, stopping Ezekiel Elliott. It's not really hard to stop the Cowboys. I think you're seeing something similar there with Arizona. No matter who the running back is, you could have David Johnson, or you could have Adrian Peterson, or whoever. It doesn't matter who the running back is, and when you don't have a quarterback, they can get the job done there. Who was the last one?
That was it.
Oh, I thought
that was it
more.
on coaches.
Okay.
If I want to talk about anything let's talk about one game in particular. How about the Steelers and the Browns game? What's your takeaway aside from Connor obviously having the breakout game? We talked a little bit about him, but what about the Browns not starting off with a loss, but starting off with a tie, which makes it feel like this is a loss to both teams, even though it's a tie. Get into that just a little bit with me. What do you think?
Well, first of all, like I said, that was my number one heater of the weekend.
Yeah.
So if you're able to make some bets, you cashed in on your boy. I'd had the Browns. They started out at +6.5. By the time I got to them, it was +4.
Yeah, I remember that.
But still, since they tied up, you got the +4. You got the win. That was my number one pick. I knew the Browns were going to come out and play well. I didn't know there was going to be a ton of weather like there was.
Yeah.
So that kind of affected the game, and that
Super
kind of
moist.
could have made the game go either way. Ben didn't have a great game. Let's be real. The Steelers overall didn't really play a great game. The Browns, it's disappointing for them because they played well enough to win and to come away with a tie. It's definitely disappointing, but it is better than a loss, regardless of what people say. But I think that game feels more like a loss for the Steelers, especially because they were up, I think, 21-7 in the fourth.
Absolutely. And they both, at the end, had opportunities to win in overtime with kicks, right? And failed to do that. Yeah, the conditions were too shitty. You can't blame that. Now, what you can blame is Greg Zuerlein, Greg the Leg, trying to kick that field goal right on top of the dirt on the fucking field.
Yep.
Now, you can blame that.
Right.
That's
well, what are you going to do? What was he supposed to do there? You're talking about the one in Oakland, right?
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do?
I hate that field. You can't do nothing.
It's the worst. You're
it's
at
the worst.
The Sandlot.
Yeah.
They're playing at the Sandlot. The Raiders.
That's for sure.
Jesus.
But that's all I got. Just wanted to kind of see what your opinion was. The downfall to the Browns not winning is the free Bud Light did not happen yet. The unlocked coolers, dude. I was the silent guy in the back waiting for these Bud Light coolers to open up for these sorry fucks.
If you missed that episode of the podcast, if you haven't heard this story, basically the Browns have partnered with Bud Light, and they have these coolers that are locked.
Yeah.
And they're going to automatically open. They're hidden all around the city.
Yeah, probably close to like other bars and stuff where you can get your
okay.
ID checks and all that. But yeah,
they're going to automatically unlock when the Browns win a game.
The first.
Again, I don't know how they're going to ID people for that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to limit people, but I'm interested to see what happens. But we continue to wait for that until the Browns get their first win.
I was wanting the people of Cleveland to have some Bud Light. Come on.
Looking over the rest of the games here, not really anything I think we need to dive into. Some of the losses here are pretty shocking. I didn't expect New Orleans, obviously, to go the way they did. I didn't expect that many points, first of all. But didn't expect them to get beat by the Bucs with no Jameis Winston. I mean, at this point, it's 1 week, but when Jameis Winston comes back, does he just pick up where he left off?
Well, here's what I think. I think that we'll see what Fitzpatrick does the second game. I don't foresee him having a game like he did against New Orleans.
Who does?
No, there's
He's
just
played
no
out
way.
of his mind.
Well, plus
he's in a dome.
He's slated to play the Eagles next. Like, come on, man, you're not
quite the difference
against a top 3 defense in the league. You are not gonna fucking have that game. There's just no way. So I don't like the Bucs this week, and I think right now the spread on the Eagles is Eagles -3. So I think if we're talking a lock, I would probably take the Eagles on that for sure, because I just don't see the Bucs doing that against a top 3 defense.
Who would you say? Let's go into the blowouts. Okay. Raiders got blown out 33-13. Detroit got blown out 48-17.
Yeah. The Ravens. I think the Ravens was one of the biggest blowouts because the Bills traded everybody that they had good.
47-3.
And they got fucking Peterman as the quarterback.
Yep.
It's the worst.
That was also one of my heaters, just in case if you guys wanted a nice little, I call that a feet up game, where you're able to just put your money down, put your feet up, relax, no
Kick
stress, no issues. Just put your feet up. That's
with your mind on your money and your money on your mind.
Yeah, we call that a feet up game. 47-3 was never close.
Yeah.
You were never in doubt of losing,
Never.
even giving up a touchdown. I had the Ravens giving up 7, easily covered. Which team would you be more worried to be? Buffalo, Detroit, or Oakland?
What are you saying? What team am I most worried about? What?
Worried to be? Which team
okay.
is in the worst position out of those 3? If you're a fan of any of those 3 teams, which fan base should be most worried?
Let's see. If it were I think the Bills. I think the Bills, dude. I think the Bills are the new Browns. I really do believe that.
Another great piece of fantasy advice for you guys. If Dallas is correct and the Bills are just going to be shitty all year, if you drafted a bad defense, if you need a fill-in defense, if you just need a new defense, maybe the one you drafted is just not good.
Yeah.
Go just stream every single. Now, you may not be able to do it every single week, but there should be a good amount of weeks where you can just go pick up the defense
that's playing the Bills.
So you can go stream the Bucs.
You're going to be good to go.
Week. You can stream the Saints. I don't know if you want to stream the Saints defense. Let's be real about how they looked against Fitzpatrick. I don't know.
And all they really have left is Shady, right? They got rid of all the receivers. They
and
got rid of the quarterback.
Off the field stuff going on.
And he's injury prone.
Right.
He's the Fournette of the Bills.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they Bills just don't have really a leg to stand on. So if you can pick any D against the Bills any given week because you have nothing or you have the buys, do it.
I'm with you on the
That's
Bills.
where I'm
If out of those 3 fan bases, Detroit, Oakland, Chicago, it's close with Detroit. Detroit wasn't looking good, but at least you have a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know you have a quarterback. You know what he's capable of.
Right.
Over there, in Arizona, I don't know what you do.
I don't know what you don't really have anything. And they've come out as it's
or
rebuilding.
not in Arizona. I'm sorry, in Buffalo.
Yeah, in Buffalo. And they've come out and said it's rebuilding years. They've even said that at Arizona as well. But they just really don't have any legs to stand on.
I heard that they announced they're going to start Josh Allen this week. The Nate Peterman experience.
I didn't hear that.
Is done. That's what I heard this morning driving in on Sirius Radio. So if that report is true, I heard Josh Allen's going to be the starter this week. They're done with the Nate Peterman experiment. Okay.
I would have been done with that preseason into last year.
Would you have been done after the 5 picks in the first half?
I would have done that. I would have been done with that last year, guy. When the Peterman experiment started.
That's the thing. Peterman, it's not like he's even close.
No.
Like it's not like the games he's been in are even close. And he can't put it all on him.
No.
But I think that does say something about his leadership, right? It's got to say something about your ability to rally the locker room. Yeah. I mean, you guys could muster 3 points. I mean, I get the Ravens D is brutal. Yeah. They've always been a great defensive team, but 3 points?
Nothing.
That's rough. All right, let's kind of put a capper on week 1. Who were you most impressed with this week? Give me a team or maybe 2 teams that you were just very, very impressed with that you liked. I'll go ahead and go first while you're looking over the schedule there. For me, obviously, we know the Patriots are going to be good. I wasn't overly impressed, but I always continue to be impressed about how Tom Brady spreads the ball around. I think he threw to 7 or 8 different receivers. Yeah. I couldn't even name all the guys. I have no idea who he's even throwing to.
No, I can
and he continues to make magic.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Tom Brady. Magic over there. That's why he's the GOAT. The guy continues to make magic. And I'm not a Patriots fan by any means, but you know me, Michigan man. I do love Brady. Yeah. I do think he's the GOAT. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I did not see that coming, and I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie to you. They have so much speed. They have so much athleticism on that side of the ball. They got younger at quarterback. Yeah. Alex Smith, traditional check down Alex Smith, is no longer there. Washington fans, you can have him check it down till your heart is content.
Yep.
That is gone. The check down shit is gone in Kansas City. You have a hard ball, fast ball thrower in Pat Mahomes, deep ball thrower. They're dangerous.
Well, and he's so mobile in the pocket. And Tyreek Hill, I told you last week,
electric.
And you didn't argue with me, but I told you that guy, as versatile as I said, versatile with him fucking 4 or 5 times last week. That guy showed it to us yet again. You can put him in the slot. You can put him as a fucking running back. You could pitch it to him. You can fucking put him as a punt returner. He's going to kick ass.
Do you
no
think
matter
he
what
gets figured out?
I would have said that last year too. And he still had a successful year, and he was still so versatile. But I think with Mahomes, and what did he have? 31 points this week?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
high.
So he was super high, right?
Yeah.
I just think every defense is going to be trying to figure out which way do we go this week. Which way is Kansas City going to roll this week? Because they have so many weapons. Guess what? This week, it's probably going to be the Kelsey show because he did absolute shit. He did like maybe a point. I
don't
think.
even know. I think I saw zeros in the leagues
Maybe
I
he
played.
didn't even get a full point.
Yeah.
But he did absolute shit. So guess what? So they open up Kelsey this week and have Tyreek returning kicks like he's always going to do and still going to kick ass. You have a lot of weapons over there at KC, man, and I think their versatility. I'm worried. They're in our fucking division.
That's where I'm worried out.
You know?
I hate saying the Chiefs. I'd never like saying the Chiefs look good or they look dangerous.
I fucking hate Arrowhead. I hate their traditions. I hate the chop that they do. I don't like anything about
song?
it. Yeah, I don't like the red and yellow. I don't like anything.
Yeah, it's
But their team,
Hulk Hogan ass fan base and shit.
Yeah, but their team, especially with fantasy points being in fucking 6 leagues and you with 7, I'm in.
So I don't know if I agree with you as far as Travis Kelce this week. I think he's still going to find tough sledding.
Yeah.
Again, Mahomes is a down the field thrower. He likes to go down the field.
He
likes
loves
to
to
go
go
deep.
deep.
He loves to take big shots. Not to say he can't do that to Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce's playing Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh is 9th best in the league against tight ends. They're pretty good. I mean, they lock down tight ends. Their linebackers are athletic. They move well. They cover well. So even though Pittsburgh didn't play great against Cleveland last week, they still held David Njoku in check. It's not like any of the Cleveland tight ends really went off. They do great against the tight ends. I'm not sure that I think Kelce, if I'm choosing DraftKings, if I'm choosing the lineup this week, Kelsey's not a guy that I'm rostering. I'm just telling you. Not to say that he won't go off. I don't think based off of what Pittsburgh does and how well they cover tight ends, I don't think he's going to have a good day.
No, I would agree with that, but I was just given that statement because I'm just trying to discuss the versatility.
Right.
I don't think I would start Kelsey either.
Plus, you're talking about having a bounce back week.
Yeah.
He's obviously going to try to bounce back. He knows he didn't have a good game.
Sure.
But they won. They had a 10-point win.
They didn't have to. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
I
mean, the team still had a 10-point win. You think maybe inside he kind of thinks, I could have done a little more, or it would have been nicer to get involved. I don't know. I don't depend on how, what kind of a competitor he is. But obviously he wants to make plays for his team. Obviously he wants to catch the ball, but they still got to win. And they're going to continue to do what's winning. If that doesn't involve him as much and they're winning, I don't think anyone's going to be complaining.
Right. What do you think the Patriots do coming into Jacksonville?
It's going to be a good game.
First or second best defense in the league.
It's going to be a good game. They're going to be up for it. They're going to be up for it. And that's something that's in my heaters. I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay. Cool.
I'll get into that in a little bit when we go into heaters.
Okay.
And I'll kind of let you know where I stand on that. I think I'm pretty much good on NFL, man. You want to move on to NFL? We'll kind of circle back to heaters at the end.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good on that.
I think we're good.
Went through injuries, updates, fantasy.
Yeah, we talked a lot about NFL.
All that stuff. Let's do. Let's jump into sneakers, man. Let's go into sneakers. Let's go that direction. I know we talked a little bit about it over the weekend. You said you had some cops. I also had some cops. What'd you get over the weekend?
Okay, so we talked a little bit about it earlier today. I just kind of briefly touched on it, but those Puma Thunder Spectras, I got the OG colorway at retail. SNS did a restock. Happy about that. The other one that just dropped, I don't know how familiar you are with. How familiar are you with the rapper Skepta?
Not that much.
The UK rapper. Yeah, me neither.
Heard about him, but I'm not enough to be like, yeah, I know his music or no.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just heard some shit here and there.
So he just dropped his third shoe, I believe. He had the rusty 97, kind of rusty colored one, and then he had the blue, white, and red silhouettes that just dropped, and then he just had this new one drop, and it's of course the Air Max 97 Deluxe, and it's kind of got like TV static looking on it. If you take a look at those, kind of like a TV static, still the original 97 silhouette, which I always go a half up because they run a little small, narrow in the toe box. So I was able to catch those, not on a restock, but they sold out from sneakers. They sold out on all the websites, and Bait put them up last night, and I was able to cop them easy. And it sounds like there's a couple websites that have them maybe sitting today. So
looking at those, you're showing me on the iPad. I'm not interested in those at all.
not interested?
Look like DS to me.
Look like dog shit, not dead stock?
No, yeah. The bad kind of DS. Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, they're not complete dog shit, but just not my style of shoe. The static that you're talking to, if you're not watching YouTube or the YouTube channel or you can't see, honestly, it almost just looks like Oreo. Like, it looks like some of those Oreo Flyknit Racer. Yeah. It looks like the Oreo Flyknit they've done before. They're calling it TV static, but honestly, it doesn't look like anything new.
Right.
That's what I see anyway.
Yeah. What I like about this shoe is obviously it's a collab. I am Nike heavy. Not that I think it's better or more comfortable, but I've bought a lot of Nikes this year. I think Nike's doing a lot of great collabs. I would end it with that.
They're doing a great job this year.
They're king right now with their marketing, PR, their designs, who they're working with. Awesome, right? I think they're killing Adidas with that. But what I like about this shoe and what I'll say about it, and then we'll see if you copped anything because I think you did. But Skepta actually came out on his Instagram and said, "Hey, love and thank you to everybody that got a pair. Unfortunately, my shoe has sold out at the main stores already. Generally, this is something to scream and celebrate about, but honestly, I'm not happy that so many of you missed out on being part of something I put so much emotion in. There are a few boutiques that have these left or on hold, so there's still a chance. Otherwise, we are working on making my line releases better. Apologies. Prayers up, Skep."
Wait, so what was the issue they had?
So Skepta doesn't like that these are selling out everywhere.
That they're mad limited.
He wants the...
Okay, so there was no issue with the release.
No.
He made it sound like there was an issue with the release, like with the app.
It did sound like that, right? But no, I think he's just kind of saying, "Hey, man, I want my people to have it." It's kind of
just like Kanye said,
Kanye
everyone
said,
have Yeezys, right?
And now we're looking at those cream white Yeezys being the biggest stock of all time with Yeezys.
Yep.
So, Skepta's kind of saying the same thing, ushering the same thing. Hey, I want my people to have my shoes, or the people that do want my shoes, I want them to have that opportunity. So I thought that was kind of cool. A lot of love for that. And, I personally like the shoe. We'll see how it looks in hand. We'll bring it by. But I like the 97 silhouette, especially when it's a collab. I do like that silhouette. I would say go up a half size if you're not familiar with the 97.
Is that full 97, like the outsole, everything? This full 97, how it's not, how lately they've been doing like 97
Correct.
upper with Air Max 1 outsole.
This is 97, and it is the 97 Deluxe. So I don't know what type of differences the Deluxe has versus the regular 97, but there are some differences with the Deluxe.
Okay, so you copped those. What'd you? You said you got them on.
Got them on bait for retail. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. And I think they're sitting today now because you've had 2 days of the hot. I guess it's now 3 days.
Gosh, Dallas, those are so bad looking.
You don't like those?
What are those, Dallas?
And then look at that. Look at the detail. Never sleep on tour. I don't know, man. It's just.
Are you gonna wear them or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear them.
What's the resale on them right now?
Dog shit. $30, $40.
As it should be.
Yeah, dog shit. But look at the Deluxe. I think the Deluxe is really talking about the back of the shoe because that looks completely different.
I'm a fan of 97. I'm with you. I like 97s, certain ones.
Okay.
I'm not a huge Air Max guy in general, but 97s is one of the silhouettes I do fuck with. In certain colorways, I don't like the ones that have like the lines around it, like the silver bullet 97s. I'm not that style. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Right.
But these ones, I guess I can rock with a little more than those.
Well, they're very neutral, so it's going to be a work shoe for me, as well.
But whenever I feel like this, whenever I'm like, I got to be forced into it, I try to stay away.
Stay away from it.
Back in the day, I would buy it.
Yeah.
Today, I don't buy anything. If it doesn't just jump out at me and scream at me, I got too many pairs, man.
Well,
if it's not like I have to have the shoe or I'm that pumped about it, I stay away now.
Well, plus if it's not like an Off-White collab, it's going to go on sale.
Right.
You're going to get it at a lower cost, even if it's off of GOAT or StockX. You know that. So if you've got patience, you can get anything, just like I got these Element 87s.
Yeah.
Now, they're still above retail because I believe retail to be 180 on the Element 87s, if I'm correct, 170 or 180. And I paid, $210 shipped? Is that what I said earlier? Yeah. So I paid $210 for those, but shit, man, those were closer to $3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So you just got to be patient. If something doesn't jump at you and you don't have to have it, wait, because you will usually get it cheaper.
Yep.
What do you got? What do you got cop-wise?
Dude, so I had over the weekend, it was actually going into the weekend, it was on Friday.
Okay.
I got a notification. Bid was accepted. I had a bid in on StockX. I just put it in for retail.
What old school shoe did you get, man?
I didn't get any old school.
What old school?
I didn't get any old
Come
school.
on. You've been on the old school grind.
Put in a bid for $250 retail. It got accepted.
Some Pharrells?
Yellow and black Pharrells.
All
Yeah, man.
right.
Came up on those. Got them for retail. So it was $13.95 shipping. So it was $263.95.
$263.95.
Shipped to my place. So I just got the notification that the seller had shipped to StockX and they're about to ship them to me. So I'm very excited to get that pair. I don't have any Pharrells currently in the collection.
Yeah.
I know you said these ones fit smaller.
They fit
which is
snugger,
crazy because the
more
Holy
snug.
Pack fits so big.
Yep.
Like I could wear an 11 in that.
All the previous ones do not. I can't talk to you about like the first gen,
OGs,
the OGs, because to be honest with you, I'd love to say I'm a hype beast. I'd love to say, oh, I love those shoes, whatever. I do love the colors. I love the concepts. Never tried one on.
Yeah, I'm not paying that much. I tried one on Urban Necessities, and they fit pretty much true to size.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So did you go a half up on these? I
did. I went 12 and a half. That's why I put a bid in. And that's why I was surprised. He accepted the bid for retail,
Ooh.
so they lost money.
Wait, hold on. And that's the unicorn size?
12 and a half, yeah.
12 and a half,
I know.
my dude.
I was honestly shocked. So that's kind of a testament to all you people that are into sneakers. I get so many DMs on like, where do you buy your shoes? How do you get deals? How do you whatever? Let me tell you, first things first, I start my morning. I wake up. I go get coffee. I sit down on my couch. I'm like an old man. I got a routine. I sit down on my couch and I scroll through Twitter, see what's up with news, and then I immediately start looking at shoe prices. I have a list of shoes that I want to buy, and I constantly check and see what they're hitting for. Every single morning, I see if maybe someone in the UK, somebody overnight uploaded them to StockX. Maybe I'm on the sneak, so I'm up early in the morning, and I'll go through and I try to find pairs of shoes that I'm looking to cop at good deals. Now, most mornings, it's the same shit from the yesterday morning. Like, I don't find any deal. But I also put in bids. I put in low bids. I put in prices I'm willing to pay. So all these sneakers that I'm looking for, I have bids in as well.
Sure.
Because if I can find something close, maybe I'll go a little more. But I put a bid in on what I'm willing to pay, and I don't normally put my top dollar. Right. So that's advice for you guys. Put in bids on StockX. Put in bids on GOAT. Yeah. I know you and I both have had so much success copping pairs, anything from grails to just stuff that we've been wanting that came out a while ago. We've had great success in copping pairs like that just by putting in bids. Just by putting in a bid. You never know what hard up motherfucker needs to accept it for cash. You know what I mean? They need cash. They got money sitting out. Maybe they got 10 pairs and their checking account's empty. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the resale life is like, but I'd imagine based off of stories like this where I just got a pair of Pharrells at retail off of StockX, people need money.
They do. Well, and what we're seeing is releases are just heavy, man. They're just dropping so much shit, whether it's Adidas and Nike and Puma's trying to stay in the game. I say that loosely, but these companies are just dropping shoes on us at an irate rate, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so I think there's a lot of people who are in the resale game and that found the shoe and thought that the hype was good and did see the hype was good. But all of a sudden, it dropped, and they have a hard time unloading it and whatever. Put in the bid that you're comfortable with. Never overpay. Put in the price that you're okay with. You will get hit. It might take a little while, but as long as it's the price you're comfortable with, these shoes will drop.
And that's advice. I mean, we've talked about that before. We both talked about having a list of shoes we have and a price we're willing to pay on them and stuff. But I don't think we ever talked about that. Yeah, just put in those bids, man. You never know what someone is going to accept at the last minute. They need money for a vacation. Just don't assume because your life is one way that everyone else's life is that way. A lot of people have a lot of other stuff going on.
Can't be selling out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So we've been doing that for a minute, man. A lot of you and I are really we're pretty much set, and that's why we don't get every single pair of shoes. We don't get every single hype pair of shoes because we pay what we want for shoes.
And we're patient.
Damn, there goes one camera. Did both cameras just die simultaneously? Oh, they're just kind of getting low?
All right, you YouTubers.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. We're going to finish
one
the show.
Camera down.
I ain't rushing for cameras. We're only doing one damn show this week. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
No, but we do have an extra battery too, JJ, somewhere over here if you need it. I think it's plugged in. Oh, yeah, right here. So you could switch that out into one of them if you want. I would keep it in the wide one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They don't need to see me, dog. Doesn't matter. I would just make sure that wide one is charged. Like, that's the angle that the last quarter of the podcast on YouTube, it may be on one angle. I don't really care. But we're going to finish the show. We're only doing one this week. It's not something we do every week. It's just a rough week, rough time.
Correct.
That's what it is, man. Deal with it. Deal with it, damn it.
Deal.
No, but I think, okay, so sneaker-wise, yeah, Pharrells, I'm cool on that. Anything upcoming, anything you're looking to get, anything you're looking to cop. I was looking through the release calendar. Nothing I'm super geeked on. Were you surprised also that the international flights are just sitting right now still on sneakers? They dropped last Saturday. Yeah. It's Wednesday. Would a pair of Jordan 12s ever be sitting?
Especially with
before?
this quality. I would say the quality, according to YouTubers, now I haven't seen them in hand because I'm not interested in the shoe personally, but the YouTubers that have shown them seem to be pretty good quality. Mike Rich, shout out to Mike Rich, Clank Clank. He did a review on them. They look really nice. But here's what I would say. The price point at $200. If that price point was adjusted, $20 at $180.
What were the flu games? Were they $220 though? What are Jordan 12s normally? I feel like they're $220. I don't know for sure. So I don't mean to get you off. I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
But yeah, I think 200 is a little tough, and it's an international shoe.
That's tough for a 12?
If we saw the international, what was it? The international 3? Is that model?
Yeah, 3s.
Set like a motherfucker, right?
Yep.
I just don't think people are interested in the international. There's no like.
You think international, the label of international, stopping people from buying these pairs?
What's the story? It's international. What's the story behind it? Flu games, for example, great example, right? Jordan had the flu, or had flu-like symptoms, is what it was, and there's a backing. There's a reason for the shoe. There's emotion behind it. What the fuck emotion do you have on international? Because it says international, so everybody can buy it. That's not reason for me to buy it. I don't like the colorway. That's where it starts with me. And it looks like fucking flower print. I don't like that shoe. Oh, and then I see a fucking $200 price point. Get the fuck out of here.
It's good.
Sorry, man. Went on a tangent.
No. It's understandable.
That's where I'm at. What do you got?
Shit, you're right, dude. You're right. I'm tripping. For some reason, the flu games are $190. Yeah. So I think 12s, I think I paid $190 for my French Blues as well. I think 12s lately have been $190.
Yeah.
So you're thinking maybe the $200 or the $10 price bump up to $200 for some reason. I don't know why I thought they were $220. I'm tripping right now.
There's a lot of things that are $220 though. Like yeah, for sure. But go on.
Yeah. So so just to get this clear, you're thinking the $200 price point is an issue.
Damn, all right. GoPros second one down.
That's
keep her rocking, not stopping.
GoPros are dying right now.
Keep her rocking.
You guys are down to one camera on the YouTube.
Sorry,
and at the end of this, you may have no cameras. It may just be audio and a black screen. I don't know. But anyway, we the $200. So the $10 price bump, the international not having any story, and then the flower thing. That's a very interesting point there. I didn't look at it like it was.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I don't even know what it's intended to be or what the symbolism behind it. But to me, it looks like flowers. Flowers. I don't love the colorway. I'm not a big navy guy. You're more of a navy guy than I am.
I love the navy and white together.
Yeah, and the $200 price point. Yeah. It's the trifecta. That's the trifecta of me saying,
so you don't want the shoe
out.
At all, no matter even if you can get them for under retail, $180.
Nope.
You don't want them.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't need them.
Interested. All right.
Yeah.
Me, I would cop under retail. I think. Honestly, I don't really wear 12s a ton anymore. Yeah. I still have my flu games. I still have.
You got the Michigans.
My French Blues are dead stock. I obviously have the Michigan ones that came out,
which they just did a restock today. So if anybody's listening, they're
late.
That's
a day
late.
Yeah, that's a day late.
Yeah, the homage to Holmes and the Michigan 12s restocked this morning.
I thought there was one more pair. I thought there was 3 pairs.
Oh, there might have been. I don't know.
I think
I just saw those
pairs.
I sent you those links.
Yep. So I think for me, the reason I'm not copying is the suede. I don't like. I'm over suede. Ever since I got those, the last few pairs on suede, I've really kind of been over. But the Michigan ones, I'm not in love with the suede. I wish it was leather. They're still a nice pair. Obviously, I still love the pair.
Sure.
But I would like them better if they were leather. Those Raptor 4s, dude, have just burned me on the suede.
Yeah.
I think I'm done with the nubuck or like suede pairs. I think I'm just done. I don't like how they wear. I don't like how they look ashy as shit after one wear. Sometimes on those Raptors, they look ashy to me out the box before I even wore them.
Really?
Okay. If they were leather, if those were black leather, I definitely would have been more geeked on those Raptors.
Yeah.
I wore the Dunk from Above 4s yesterday, all leather. I was just telling someone yesterday, I was like, man, if these Raptor 4s were like these, I don't know. For some reason, I don't know.
Love that shoe.
It feels more comfortable. It feels more, my foot felt like it slid around too much. It didn't feel like the suede conformed to my foot as well. It just feels hollow inside. It feels like cheap. I don't know how to explain it. Leather is just a nicer, it's a nicer feel.
Quality
it's a nicer
feel, quality look.
Yeah, so that's kind of what turns me off on those internationals. But
an
any Jordan
take.
12 a few years ago, any Jordan 12 back in 2014, 2015, they would not be sitting.
Or
Doesn't
the
matter what
OVO
it is.
12s never sat. I mean,
No, hell
people
no.
love those.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Any of those were sitting. We talked a little bit about releases on previous podcasts. I won't waste too much time on that. And this is going to be next weekend, so obviously those acronyms, I'm looking at those.
Yeah.
The 2 new colorways of the Jordan 1, the green and the purple. You've seen those, obviously? Have you seen the quality on those?
Yeah, they look, I don't know. Some pictures look decent to me, and some pictures don't look so great. So
I saw the one on Sneakerhead in the Bay on his gram. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, shit. Dude, they looked ridiculous. They looked shattered backboard butter.
Yeah. Shout outs to Finish Line right now. The drawing is open for the green right now. So if you're interested personally, or if our audience is interested, I think Finish Line, you pick your location, just like Foot Locker. They're all kind of doing raffles now.
Yeah. Look at those. That's the picture from Sneakerhead in the Bay on Instagram.
Huh.
Look at those things.
Those do look a lot like shattered backboard.
Don't they? Like
especially
the sail?
Especially the sail colorway. Yeah, it looks just like it. Now, if you look at some of the leather, though...
I mean, obviously it's not shattered, but it's really
it is
insane quality.
It's tumbled like a motherfucker on the sail aspect.
I will kind of temper the expectations because we saw similar on the shadows. The pair I had, those shadows.
Yeah.
I was like, these are incredible. These are shattered backboard. Not everyone felt the same way, but the pair that I got
were pretty decent.
Super butter.
Yeah.
These, I could see them being the same way, these green and purples. Some pairs are going to be like his are, super butter, and some are just not going to be.
Yeah.
I think that's the story with Jordan Brand lately. Mm-hmm. There hasn't really been a release where like those shattered backboards where everything, all of them are just that color. Or I mean, all of them are just that quality. Sorry. You kind of getting shades of that quality on maybe one out of your 2 sneak. Maybe your left one is nicer than the right. But it's very rare that everyone universally is getting great pairs across the board, great quality. Especially lately, I don't know, stuff's just changed. So I'll temper the expectations. Any of the pics you're seeing on the green ones, the purple ones that have really good quality, like the one from Sneakerhead in the Bay, you can check his out on Instagram. It's just Sneakerhead in the Bay if you want to check out that pair I'm talking about. Scroll down a little bit. Those are... They look flames, though.
Totally. What do you, so obviously the Element 87s, I don't want to get into that too heavy, but the Undercover collab, some of those colorways are starting to drop. So you have, is tomorrow the 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah, today's, Okay, so on the 13th, you do have the React Element 87. So when people hear this, they will probably be late because they drop tomorrow morning on the Sneakers app, and it's the colorway that looks like the red, the blue, some gray on it. Those drop tomorrow, and that's the first out of, I think, 4 models for the Undercover.
I'm seeing them all dropping on the same day.
Are you?
On the release day, Kicks on Fire, 13.
I do see that. Huh.
So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 different colorways. 4 different colorways dropping.
I want this pair just to have an Undercover, because what I want to see is with this collab, I want to see, because I have 3 pairs of Element 87s. So with this Undercover collab, it's got me interested because I want to see if there's any like better leather touches or more details or what's different from that collab versus just having Undercover written like it is an Off-White almost.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if there's anything different, but look at that. Look at that sole, man. It looks like the sole was wiped with your butt. You know, you wiped the sole with your butthole.
Right, yeah. Why is it that
like,
color
it's
brown?
like a chalky, muddy brown nut.
It's like a muddy brown.
Like a nut brown.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, I'm not.
But, I mean, I like how it pops, obviously, but I don't know, man. I just want to buy it to see if there's any differences. So if I can get it retail, I will get 1 pair.
That's the Signal Blue colorway?
Yeah.
I think it's called? Yeah, that's. I'm not feeling that at all.
Are you liking any of the 4 colorways?
Not really, man. What do you got? Electric Yellow, Signal Blue, Green Mist, and Volt.
Because you usually like loud shoes.
Honestly, I would say the Volt.
Yeah.
If I'm going with one, I like the Volt. I like the blue outsole. I like the Volt color upper that's kind of translucent. I like the red in the lacing system. That would be the pair I would go for. If I was going for one.
If you can get it at retail?
I'm not going for one.
Okay.
If I can get it at retail, God, I've told you, I want to wear them. I want to try them on, man.
What if I got you a pair, late birthday present?
No, you don't got to get me a pair. don't be doing that. Don't be getting another.
What if JJ, Most Silent Man podcast, get you one?
I might consider if JJ got me a pair. I might rock them in here.
With the Chevrolet racing hat.
No, JJ with the Chevy racing.
In the game.
I like it.
All right, man.
No, but I'm. I don't know, man. I'm staying away because I haven't tried them, but I do like the Volt. colorway.
Maybe the homies at Notorious.
Fuck it. You know what? Maybe I'm going to go for those volts, man.
Try to get them.
Maybe I'll go for the
and
volts.
also
drop an 8 a.m. sneakers app.
Yeah.
They're already dropped. If you guys are listening to this, they've already dropped. Don't worry about trying to
maybe
get
the
them.
homies at Notorious, when they get a couple pairs, they can let us review them. If we take an L, maybe we can review them through the homies at Notorious. Maybe try them on, that kind of thing. So we'll hit those guys up.
Today. See if they got any pairs early or some shit too.
Cool.
All right, man. I think I'm tight on sneakers. Cool on that. What is the big? Oh yeah, we got the big news today. That's today, isn't it? The Apple keynote.
Yeah, actually, it's already going
on.
It's
cracking
as we
right
speak.
now.
Yeah.
What? I haven't seen anything about it. You haven't seen anything about it. Give me what you think is coming up, or what you're rumored.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm in the telecom game, and even I don't even have the sneaks on sneaks, which is crazy. Apple keeps it very, very hush-hush. Now, some of the rumors that I have heard is a Series 4 watch. We're talking a little bit more slimmer profile than the Series 3, and we're also talking a little faster processor. So some of the complaints is when you boot a watch or reboot a watch, it just takes a little while to open things, close things. So that processor is going to help with that. They're already immensely waterproof, so they can't really change that. But the slim profile design and make it a more round glass than the traditional square that they use now.
Oh.
So that's one. And with the phones, I've heard a couple things, but here's what I would say. It sounds like they're going to keep with the X versions or the 10, however you want to call it, and they might bring the S versions of the 10. So you have like an XS version, you have the XS Pro or Plus, whatever size they want to call that. And then I have heard rumblings of the iPhone 9. So the 10s, the 10S and the 10S Plus, whatever it is, are going to be better, but you're going to have the 9 that replaces, the 8 that is out now. And what they're going to do is they're going to stay with that same silhouette. But the 10s, I don't know what they're going to do, what they're going to add, what they're not, but those are kind of some of the rumors that I've heard. What have you heard?
I'm seeing the iPhone XS, XS Plus.
Okay.
Then I'm seeing iPhone Max. Have you heard about that?
I haven't.
iPhone Max and iPhone XC and XR.
Huh.
So that's kind of interesting. I'm honestly kind of sad that we're doing this podcast during the keynote because you and I always watch the keynote.
We always
figure out,
live.
but I haven't been in the telecom game for almost a year now.
God,
when
crazy.
I exited that, it's crazy how fast it went.
Yeah.
You're still in the telecom game. I'm glad I still have my Connect through you.
Bet.
I'm gonna pre-order. If you're looking to get any of the new Apple products, pre-ordering with your company is probably the best. Can I still do that?
Yeah, here's what I would say. I don't know if this is sharing too much info, but it sounds like, and the keynote's going on, so I'm probably not giving away any info, but at least T-Mobile pre-orders start this Friday.
That's okay. That's standard. I
So,
feel like they always announce
pretty
on Tuesday
standard
or
there.
Wednesday,
And it sounds like there is going to be one model, and this is a rumor, of course. There's going to be one model, and it may be that Max, as you talk about, that is going to be available later on, closer to the holiday season.
Gotcha.
So they'll probably do something like that as well. Now, I'm hoping for new AirPods. I'm hoping for some wireless charging AirPods. Do you know anything about that?
Here's what I'm seeing. Speaking of AirPods, it's also likely that we'll see at least a new charging case for the AirPods, but probably new AirPods as well. So that's what I'm seeing leading up to it.
Well,
we've talked about the charging case for the AirPods. Both of you and I have the old versions. We're waiting for...
You waited to buy the current AirPods because
they told
you
us
thought...
they were dropping them.
Yeah. And they haven't yet.
They were coming out.
But they also said Apple was going to come out with a wireless charging mat. I haven't fucking seen that.
That's why I was waiting for the AirPods. My goal was to be able to have a pad at my house that I could drop my Apple Watch on, drop my phone on,
and your
drop my
AirPods.
AirPod case on,
Yeah.
and it charges all the shit. Charges the AirPods, charges the case, charges the watch, charges the phone.
Seems pretty easy.
All in the one thing. They said it was coming.
Yeah.
They said it was Apple Hub or whatever the fuck it was called, iHub or
Mac rumors, all of them.
nothing. Got nothing.
Yep.
So hopefully that comes out this year. The new AirPod charging case comes out this year.
Yeah.
My luck, they're probably going to start selling the new AirPods with the charging case. So now I'm going to have to buy either all new AirPods or just a new case when my case is perfectly fine for the existing AirPods.
Yeah.
That's fine because I'm a slave to the Apple. So I just buy whatever.
Bet.
I just waste my money on Apple shit. That's how it goes. But I really do love the products. I use a MacBook. I use an iPad. And all the shit just talks to each other. It works well.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't like Apple, that's fine. You have your preference. I don't give a fuck. You do what you do. Stay over there in video game tech land. Stay in consistency.
Go get nerdy with open source.
Right.
Leave the primal number one ecosystem.
Because I know everyone always thinks their way is better.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck about your way. My way works for me.
Yeah.
Your way works for you. That's all that matters. But I'm excited to hear about what's going on with that. We don't want to spend too much time because all the info will probably come out on that.
Right.
What is this Paul McCartney, John Lennon story?
The Paul McCartney, John Lennon thing, right? This is weird. So it sounds like, let me find it here. It sounds like Paul McCartney was during an interview, and I was trying to see who it was with. Hold on real quick.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon are easily two of my favorite artists. I'm a huge Beatles fan, as you know. Those are my guys. Beatles' greatest hits stays on in my crib when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I'm doing shit. Beatles' greatest hits, highly recommended. If you're a Beatles fan, if you don't know about that.
Right. Yeah, so it sounds like Paul McCartney, he was doing an interview with GQ.
Okay.
And he essentially just alluded to some kind of weird and maybe even raunchy stories to some people. And what it came down to was he said that him and John Lennon actually masturbated together.
Shut up.
In this interview, and he just calls it harmless fun. Was literally kind of the quotations. Just a little harmless fun.
How old's the interview? Is this recent?
Yeah, this is recent. Yeah, this just happened within the last week. So, and one of his quotes was, instead of just getting roaring drunk and partying, we were all just in 3 chairs and the lights were out and somebody started masturbating. So we all did. But, it was just the kind of thing that you didn't think much of. Yeah, it's quite raunchy when you think about it, but it was good, harmless fun. It didn't hurt anyone. That was his quote.
I don't know.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, I guess you could agree with that. Is it something I would do? No, it's fucking weird.
Hey.
Like, I guess that was before the internet. That was before.
Totally.
I don't know. Like, you were real bored. You didn't have anything to do.
You're making some. You're digging for some. For some reasons.
I don't understand.
But here's what I like about it. It, to me, as two of the best songwriters of all time. It brings new meaning to the song "Come Together."
Oh, gross. Here we go. Fucking grossing me out. Anyways, I cannot believe you.
I just think that's the craziest story, man. So, maybe we should have saved that for the
nasty-ass dad joke.
Yeah.
Perverted-ass dad joke right there. That's terrible.
But I got to tell you, that's just weird. But hey, Paul's pretty old. McCartney's an old man. He's still making some tunes. I think put out a recent album, which is weird. I listened to one track off of it, but kind of a weird interview. I'm surprised it went there. And usually Paul is known for Sir Paul McCartney, knighted, right? And he's usually pretty known for pretty formal kind of guy. So this was kind of out of the ordinary, and it definitely gives us insight to some of the things that go on with probably all musicians. Not that they all masturbate together, but weird shit happens. And I
know they do a lot of drugs and shit like that. Yeah. That had to be drug induced. There was no way that they're all just sober sitting around.
Hey man, I like you a lot. You're one of my best friends. But you're one of my best friends. But I'm not gonna jack off with you,
man.
What
the fuck?
You know what? We can party. We can have some pizza. We can do a fantasy draft together. But jerking off is definitely, I draw the line, man.
It's weird. This must be some weird drug-induced or some British shit.
Some British shit,
some UK. Some British shit.
Some British shit, eh?
All right, couple more. Let's do a couple more quick-hitter stories. Let's go with the Kanye West Lil Pump video.
Oh, my God. Where do you
start? Before we jump into our heaters and then kind of wrap this up.
Where are you at with this? How much have you read? How much have you seen? Because there are so many things that connect dots to this story, not to make it good, not to make it right, but there's so much to it. What do you know?
I don't know really that much. I just know what I watched, and I kind of was left like, what did I just watch? After I watched it, then I thought about it, and I was like, damn, we got to do that for Halloween. Like, how are we not wearing those suits to the club? Like,
dude,
we're gonna have a hard time getting in the door, but once we get in, it's a party. You know what I mean? Like, this is a good time.
I'm just picturing. That's a great visual. So here's what I would tell you.
I would play the clip for you guys, but we can't fucking play music on this show anymore because if you saw the fifth episode where we played the Machine Gun Kelly and the Eminem shit back and forth, they're ripping us left and right. Not only did we get pulled off of YouTube, but we got SoundCloud pulled us off too.
Yeah, it's strike one of 3.
Yeah, so we can't play.
Got to tighten up a little bit.
I would like to play the clip of the song for you guys. We just can't. We're getting ripped for content or I don't even know what the hell it's called. Copyright infringement.
So there's so many things I could talk about this, but I'll just kind of give you a little bit of backstory here. So this all kind of started last Friday. So Kanye West, and even before this, Kanye West came out and supported Pornhub, right? So Pornhub, and I won't tell all you fools what that is. You can just look it up and have fun.
Anybody that doesn't know what Pornhub is, what are you doing in your life?
Just go Paul McCartney style. Have fun, man.
Anyway.
But so last Friday, Kanye actually served as the creative director for the Pornhub Awards. And this was the first Pornhub Awards.
Right.
He actually debuted this song with Lil Pump.
How long is the song?
How long is it?
Yeah, like is it how long? What in length? Is it a minute and a half?
Oh,
is it
yeah.
2 minutes?
I'm sure it's like between 2 and 3 minutes.
Because I didn't see. All I saw was like the little clip. I didn't find like the whole thing. Did you find like a full? Is there a full released song? Like this is ready for consumption. The whole thing. Okay.
You can get on YouTube right now and just Kanye West, Lil Pump. But the song's called "I Love It," and they debuted this at the Pornhub Awards. And I'll read some of the lyrics here in just a second, but.
You don't need to read the lyrics. People know. People can look it up. Everyone's heard this shit.
Fair enough. Well, let me tell you where some of the inspiration comes from. So Spike Jonze is actually the creative director behind this. So if we know about Spike Jonze and what Spike Jonze has, I mean, he's worked with Sonic Youth, Beastie Boys, Fatboy Slim, Daft Punk, Weezer, Kanye now, and he's movie director. He just has a very creative eye, and it's different, right? Jackass, he directed a lot of that. So that's where a lot of this inspiration comes from him, but it's also based off of like some of the old Missy Misdemeanor videos. Remember Ludacris with Stand Up, you know, where he's got like
Stand Up.
Yeah, there you go. The big forearms and the big, he's peeing in the urinal and doing all the weird big heads and that kind of stuff. So a lot of that inspiration comes from this, and Kanye's even said that. What we're also hearing is, have you ever heard of the game or whatever called Roblox?
No.
So there's...
it's like a video game, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I have. Okay.
And
I'll look it up.
What this Roblox is these characters that are really big like this. And it sounds like some of the inspiration came from that look as well. I've heard Minecraft, but I think
they're almost like Legos.
Yeah.
They're almost like Legos if you don't know what Roblox are.
Yeah. So in Minecraft, it kind of looks like Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft, Legos, yeah.
So that's where a lot of this inspiration comes from, I think, with Kanye. That's where a lot of this design concepts came from. But long story short, I can't get into the song. The song's...
It's like a joke.
It's
like
catchy.
It seems like it's a joke, right?
It is. It is. It's really catchy, I'll tell you that.
Is it not supposed to be a joke, though? Like, what is it supposed to be?
I've heard that, it's a troll music video. I've heard that being called that, but...
God, I hate the internet. I hate 2018. Like, you just don't know what's real.
I don't know.
Real. People do so much dumb shit.
Right.
That it's like, is this for attention? Is this real? Is this because your marketing department told you to do it? I just feel like we live in a fucking troll world. Like, nothing is real. Nothing matters. Nothing has value. Everything's here today, gone tomorrow. It's a tough world. It would be a tough world to grow up in. Like, everything around you just feels contrived and fake and put out there to get attention and fake news. And I don't know, that frustrates me. And it kind of annoys me. I guess annoying is more the word than frustration. But
yeah, I just tried to find some real MC touches because of Kanye and his raps. I couldn't find a lot of quality content in this. There was a little bit of wit. You know, my favorite line is how you start a family, the condom slipped up. You know, so there's a little bit of wit to it, but I just couldn't get into the rhymes. I couldn't get into the chorus is catchy. I mean, you saw me this morning. I was kind of humming it.
Oh yeah, you're humming around.
So it definitely gets into your head. So great. Yeah, you got it. So great for that. But I just kind of want to talk. You know, where the inspiration came from, what the concepts were based out of.
That's cool. I didn't know.
I like those ideas.
Yeah,
but
I like Spike Jonze too.
Yeah, Spike Jonze is the shit for sure. A lot of his movies are very, very underrated as a director. So check some of those out. But the song for myself, not a fan, and I don't like Lil Pump either. So that's a strike against me. But anything Kanye touches, I'm usually into. But this song, I pass.
Let's jump. No, I'm good on it. I'm tied on that. I'm good on that. I'm not that interested. Not something I'd put on repeat. Not something I'd download. Sure. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't really get in, like, the troll shit is just troll shit to me. Sure. I don't take it serious. Let's grab a couple more things. I want to touch on the Serena Williams situation at the U.S. Open. Let's hit on that really quick. I was really kind of unsure of what happened initially. I know you're a big tennis guy, so I was like, man, I want to talk to Dallas about this. What's your opinion on this? How do you think it went down? Or what happened? Who was in the right? Who was in the wrong? Because I didn't really understand. I was trying to watch SportsCenter, trying to follow it. I saw notifications that it was going down on my phone, and I just didn't have time to read through it. And so I was trying to kind of understand on SportsCenter.
Yeah.
I know she got pissed off. She felt like she was wronged.
Sure.
And then she got a little lippy.
Yeah. So here's kind of little Miss Lippy.
Right.
What do you know about that? So here's kind of where it stemmed from. So she was accused of taking coaching / hand signals from her coach.
Okay.
In the grandstand, right? So
is that not allowed? You're not allowed to like coach from the grandstand?
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not allowed coaching.
Who knew?
During the match. So she was called out for that and warned a few times. Not only warned for the coaching.
Like he was yelling out stuff, or he was doing hand
signals.
Okay, gotcha.
Hand signals.
Right.
And finally, she actually took a point away from Serena for doing it.
The judge, I thought it was a he.
He. Sorry. He. Sorry. He actually took a point away from her because she had been warned, and she had a breakdown. And this is where the whole thing starts, right?
Down, yeah.
So the breakdown, she breaks the tennis racket, slams it down, and then goes to the ump and says, "Why'd you take a point away from me?" And calls the umpire a thief.
Okay. For taking the point.
You're a thief for taking my point away, and just starts ragging on him. And then all of a sudden, she starts changing it into a sexism, gender type of thing. Like she was even saying, hey, men get away with a lot worse than this. They can say a lot more. They can express more. Wow. So she made it more of the gender thing.
Oh, boy.
And the ump did pretty well taking all this because she couldn't get right in his face because he's sitting, elevated seat.
Right.
But she made it a big deal. And then you had like the other two judges who, I guess, judge this guy on the court. I don't know how all that works. I'm not, but again, you had additional umpires or referees, whatever you want to call them, through the matches come out, and they talked to the ump and got their side and blah, blah, blah. And they deemed Serena at fault for this. And so the problem with this whole thing is she turned it into a gender thing, and I can understand some of that. But
is that valid or? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think it is. I think it is valid a little bit. I think some of the males, you look back at John McEnroe back in the day, used to be able to just cuss and have this like big stage and just get crazy out there. So I do think that the males may have a little bit of upper hand with what they can do and if they can do more. So I think she is right in that aspect, and I would stand behind her. But whether she was getting coached, whether she wasn't, calling the umpire a thief, I think the professionalism and the GOAT in which Serena is of tennis, I just think it kind of demeaned and belittled her name a little bit with the way she handled this. I don't agree. I think she went after it too hard. I think the name calling the umpire a thief, taking this away. She was warned. There may or may not have been some coaching with signals. I don't know. I'm not a part of that. But I think she was probably getting coached a little bit. And yeah. Oh, and it sounds like the most silent man in podcast history said
breaking his silence from the corner. I guess
we've got breaking news over here.
Wow.
It sounds like the coach may have even admitted
that he was coaching. Okay, that's news to me because I saw on SportsCenter
I didn't see that
highlight. They showed during SportsCenter. They showed him saying, I guess he did kind of say he was coaching, but he said everyone's coaching. He did say that. Yeah. He did name a couple male tennis players and a couple people, and he said so and so's coaching Federer all the time. So-and-so's coaching Djokovic all the time, or Nadal, or whoever the hell it was. I don't remember exactly who he said, but he said it is happening all the time. He said it does occur. This isn't something new. Why her? Why was she? They felt like, I think Serena and the coach felt like she was targeted unfairly by this judge.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. So she felt like she was targeted. Turns it into the gender kind of issues and why me.
Has this resulted in any fines or suspensions, or is anything more come of this, or is it kind of just come and gone and that's it?
Well, what I did read was there's reports of umpires considering boycotting of Serena Williams matches.
Oh, shit.
So there's talks of the umpires coming together to maybe boycott that kind of stuff. So
it looked to me. Now I didn't watch the whole match. All I saw was the highlights. I saw the coach talking. I saw her throwing the tantrum and going back and forth and all that stuff. It honestly looked like she was getting her ass whipped, not playing well. and was frustrated.
Yeah.
And then started to take her frustrations out on the umpire, and then just demanding an apology. That kind of turned me off. Like, you owe me an apology. It felt like an entitled little kid. Why not just continue the match and go talk to the person afterwards, or go, I don't even know. It just felt very, very weird to me that she was going to continue to go after and not play the match and get distracted from the match and keep doing worse in the match. Because the worse her temper got, the worse she played. The more frustrated she got, the worse she played. And it just didn't feel like it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Well, and
Djokovic
came out to Serena's defense and said, hey, I think the umpire was pushing her a little too far to maybe get there.
What did the umpire do? Did you watch the match live?
I watched most of it, but I didn't see that live, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't see any like poking or prodding. I saw every shot I saw was Serena yelling at the ump.
Right.
I didn't see the ump verbally attacking her or calling her names, or I didn't see any of that.
Right.
And maybe I'm off base. Maybe I missed some shit. I don't know, but I did not see any of that from what I watched. I saw the way that, and I think SportsCenter did a good job of journalism. I don't think they cut it to make it look like it was Serena's fault. Why would they do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? They've been done nothing but big up her whole career. So I don't see why they would do that journalistically, but it just didn't look to me like the ump's fault.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
More like she was pushing it because she was frustrated. She was getting her ass kicked.
Right. So I do have a little news on kind of what has happened since then. So Serena Williams fined $17,000 for U.S. Open final remarks, but it could prompt tennis to change its ways. So that's kind of where this whole umpire thing comes in, where they're boycotting, that kind of stuff. But they're also thinking about to reflect on the clarity of our own communication with the chair umps. USTA spokesperson Chris Widmeyer said Sunday, these incidents will prompt us to analyze our ways of perhaps instituting some change. We certainly do not want inconsistencies. So that sounds like the end result. We can argue everything else and what happened, but I think the umpire may have pushed a little heavy. I don't think there was bad intention, but I think Serena also, with the platform that she has, Billie Jean King, the shoes came out, the anniversary to the Bobby Riggs match. There's a lot of things that can connect these, and I do think men they're paid more nationally, and they probably do get away with more. I've seen that at least tennis events. They can say more, they can express more, I think is probably true. But I'm kind of embarrassed with Serena and how she handled it.
Yeah, it seems weird to me. I don't know. It seems a little bit of a reach.
Yeah.
So that's where I would kind of leave it there. The last kind of story I want to cover, or do you have anything more on that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. The last kind of story I want to talk about before we get into heaters and wrap up the podcast is the Eminem situation, sitting down with Sway.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I saw on Eminem's social media, he dropped a post on Instagram saying that part one of this interview with Sway was coming tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. 6 o'clock rolls around. I'm geeked. I listened to it. It's about 12 minutes long.
Yep.
And I watched the clip or listened to the clip, whatever. And I was left. I mean, I like what M said. I think some of the things he said in it were great. Mm-hmm. I think this, I really like these conversations where he sits down and opens up and he's real and he's not kind of goofing around or fucking around. You know how M always does those, like,
he does.
This was one of those really real conversations. You got real M speaking freely, speaking about Revival, speaking about his expectations, speaking about what he was trying to do, speaking about the state of music today and how things gain attention and how, fans handle certain releases and why he dropped Kamikaze the way he did.
Yeah.
That was probably one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, mine too.
But then at the end, all the stuff I wanted to hear is coming in part 2.
Yeah.
So I was just left hanging.
They
like
literally just got into the MGK stuff, and literally they kind of previewed for, the next episode, and we didn't get anything.
I know.
The one thing that we got out of the entire 12 minutes, I think is what you were alluding to, was, he essentially said, hey, if I didn't have Revival, I wouldn't have had Kamikaze. And what it comes down to is, hey, if I'm going to announce all these things and I'm going to put track lists up and I'm going to put song titles up there, I'm going to get hated on. I'm going to get views.
People are going to predetermine.
They're going to predetermine the fate of this album. And I think there's some validity to that. I agree with that. But then he goes on to say, but if I didn't have these albums, and maybe they were good, maybe they weren't. He didn't call it. He didn't stand up for his albums necessarily either. He did say like, hey, they're my albums, but he didn't say they were great or they were awesome or whatever. He just said, yeah, they were, that was how I was feeling.
He compared Relapse to Recovery.
He did.
He brought up that. He brought up Encore. You know what I mean? He said Encore was a better album than Relapse.
Yeah.
Relapse was terrible. I went back and looked at it and I was like, why am I doing all these accents?
Yeah.
Why am I didn't realize I was doing all these accents, and that was the Eminem I hated most.
Yep.
I hated that accent phase. I hated the Triumph the Puppet Dog.
Yeah.
I fucking hated that shit.
Totally.
I was not a fan of that Eminem. I was so glad that he hated it too. He went back and he's like, God damn, I didn't realize I was doing all this shit.
What was I doing?
And that was cool to hear. It was really, we've never really seen that side of M. We've never really seen him open up like that about himself or his own music and kind of attack himself and look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And just like he said on Kamikaze, there's a line on there where he says, you could never fucking get to me because I judge myself more harshly than any other critic or anyone else. And I don't know the exact verbiage he used, but in a sense, that's what he says in the lyrics is like, no one's criticism of him could ever be harder than his own criticism of himself. You know what I mean?
And I just like how he alludes that, hey, if I didn't have this album, I wouldn't have this album.
Yep.
So it's like this
That's what
chronological.
got me to this point.
Yeah, that's, and it does talk about growth because, so a lot of growth conversation was in that interview. Did you get that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sure. And that's M just saying, hey, look, I'm not the old M. And then Sway was like, yeah, man, we all kind of missed the old M.
Yeah,
Welcome
we got
back.
me excited on the old
Welcome
M,
back on Kamikaze. But you know what else was cool? Was M had obviously Sway sign his album.
Yeah.
At the first, that was kind of cool, man.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know Sway is like he used to rap back in the day.
He had bars back in the day.
He had a little crew. You know what I mean? Like, he does a great job still on the morning show on Shade 45 on Sirius. I mean, I love that show. I think they do a great job there. But no, I really liked the interview. I liked what he said. I just hated how much they left us hanging. Yeah. And not only did they leave us hanging, they didn't give us a date. Did you see a release date, a time, anything else for part 2?
They're going to drop it like they did on Kamikaze.
But it sounds like at the end of that, they do show some clips from part 2.
Yeah.
So you can go to, if you go to Eminem Music on YouTube, I think his YouTube channel is Eminem Music.
Or if you just go to Eminem.com, it'll just take you right to it.
Eminem.com, it's up there.
Yep.
If you didn't get a chance to check it out yet, recommend it. It's only 12 minutes long, but he drops some gems in there, man. He drops some really good stuff, some stuff that we have not heard from him, which I always like that. I like to hear some new things about somebody that we didn't maybe know, or gives you kind of insight into his brain on what he was thinking on certain projects and stuff like that. But I'm eager, man. I'm ready for part 2, and I don't know when it's going to drop. So that does leave me a little bit disappointed.
So what about, so not getting away from that, but what about the 7-minute live stream that Eminem did?
I didn't see it. I just heard about it. I heard about him playing Pac-Man.
7 minutes of Pac-Man.
Yep.
And there's some hip-hop song in the back. I can't remember what it is now. Damn it, I should have remembered. But, it's nothing crazy, and I don't think that has any correlation. It might. We'll see. But where's this rebuttal?
No, the Pac-Man tattoos. He's talking about that's where I was going to go next. Yeah. Obviously, the Pac-Man has a correlation. You're talking about the song.
Yeah, I'm talking about the song in the background. Yeah. We don't know that yet, but obviously.
JJ, please, a little more silent in podcast history. I'm just kidding.
But we all know about MGK's, Pac-Man tattoos just above, just
on
below
his
his neck,
collarbone.
on his collarbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that. So obviously, that sets us up for a possible diss track, but.
It sounds like he has something coming.
Time is wasting. Like, what do you think on that?
Here's the thing. It sounds like he has something coming. If you watch the end of that interview,
correct.
It sounds like, but all he says is, he says some shit, and then he says, "Now I feel like I got to respond to this motherfucker."
Totally.
Blah 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 blah, and that makes me think that there isn't something coming because they're using that as clickbait. They're using that as you need to fucking watch part 2 to hear what happens. And I think he's going to finish the sentence with something like, now I feel like I have to respond to that motherfucker. But then on the other side, I'm not going to respond because I don't want to give him this shine, or I don't want to, I feel like it's going to go in a direction like that where he's going to say, this is why I'm not going to respond. And that's going to disappoint me even further.
Yeah, totally.
So now I'm going to be, all this part 2 shit I was eager to see, I'm going to be disappointed at the end of part 2 because now I know I'm not getting a fucking M response. I don't know for sure. That's just where my mind goes. Maybe I'm going too pessimistic. Maybe I think I'm going to be let down before I'm actually let down. Yeah. I'm kind of shielding myself from the pain that I'm going to feel at the end of that interview, but that's how I feel. I'm going to be disappointed. Not even pain. Pain's the wrong word. Disappointment.
Do you think whether he does it or doesn't, do you think this amount of time without having at least... I mean, this interview is the closest...
If the diss is fucking sick, time doesn't matter.
Okay.
Time does not matter. Once he drops the track, if it is ridiculous and he kills MGK, time, who cares? No one's going to bring up time at all. No one's going to say, well, it took him 2 weeks. No one's... If it's sick, it's sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one is going to say shit about time.
Gotcha.
If it's whack, it's going to be whack. I still don't know that time would be a factor. Maybe people will be like, well, fuck, that's all he came with? He fucking took 2 weeks and he put out that bullshit? That may be a mention of time, but I don't think time is going to be... I think time's an issue right now because we haven't seen anything.
Sure.
But once something comes out, no one's going to bring up
Doesn't
time.
matter that it took a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Time won't matter. Time won't matter at that point. That's kind of where I'm at. You good on that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into the new section on the podcast, man. We started, and this is called Heaters.
All right, Em. This is my heater. I dare you to hit it.
Too hot, lady. Here come the hot stepper. Hot
Oh. All right, man, let's jump in here. Let's get into our heaters. But first, a recap of last week. I'm not exactly sure what your picks were. I know we were equal on the Chiefs. We both chose the Chiefs +3.
Yep.
Easy win there. They got a 10-point victory. We had a 3-point cushion. Didn't even need it. I went with the Ravens -7. Obviously, a cruising, easy feed-up game for me. I talked about that. Super breezer, as the Bills only put up 3 points.
Right.
And then my final one, the lock of the week for me, was the Browns +4, and they tied at 21 with Pittsburgh, so you had the 4 there, which helped us win that bet. So 3-0 for me. What about you?
I went 2-1, so we had the Chargers that we talked about, and then, of course, I did take Philly at home.
The Chargers?
Or, sorry, the Chiefs, sorry.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, the Chiefs, so we both had that on lock, so we were both on the same page. And I went with the Eagles, remember, at home. I said, coming off the Super Bowl, first game at home,
right,
crowds
Thursday night,
live, Thursday night.
Man, Atlanta looked bad.
And
they both looked bad, actually. The first half of that game, that was bad.
It was
football.
dog shit. It was the worst start to NFL, I thought.
Man.
Man, how is this prime time start of the season?
How geeked were we for the start of the season? Shit,
totally.
It was just such a bad game.
And it was such a bad game.
Overall, the game wasn't good at all. I mean, the first half was terrible. It picked up a little in the second half, but not much.
Right.
It was still a bad game.
So obviously covered that one, and I say obviously because I was confident in that one because the Philly at home, Super Bowl, hoisting the banner, that whole thing. Covered that one. So those were my 2 wins. My loss, though, I thought there could have been a nice upset with Deshaun coming back at the Patriots. But little did I know, Tom Brady, the GOAT, not only throws it to Gronk, throws it to Hogan. He, like you said, he threw it to like 6-7 different people. That ball was all over the goddamn place. And losing Cooks, I thought I had something. I thought Deshaun, they have a full roster of defenses back with J.J. Watt. I thought I put it together correctly. I took the L. That was my one loss.
They still won by 7, but they were just giving up too many points,
Yeah.
I think.
Totally.
They were like 7.5 or
Yep.
something. So
Yeah.
it was still close. I
It
think
was
you
close.
lost by a half.
Yeah.
Still very close. 2-1.
Yeah.
I'm 3-0. Let's jump into this week's picks. And what do you got for your first game, man? What's going on with there?
All right, let me get to it here. First game on week 2.
Is this your most? Are you going to start from most confident or least confident?
What do you want to start with?
I don't care. I'm cool with either
You
one.
want to do? Let's go least confident.
All right.
Okay. So what I will throw up to you on the least confident is. Or no, let's go most confident. Let's do most confident.
All right.
So my most confident one is Chiefs at the Steelers. I really like that. So I have -4 on Pittsburgh at home. And from what I saw with the offense of the Steelers, having Big Ben, did he have 4 picks or 3? 3 picks?
Yeah.
So I don't like the Steelers offense. Now, granted, the conditions, we can take all this stuff. They're at home. I don't like them at -4. So I like Chiefs +4. In Pittsburgh again, we go to the versatility. We go with Tyreek Hill. How do we use him? How can we use him? How can we not use him? I think Kelsey will actually maybe not have a great game, but I think he'll take some of the coverage away where they can lead some of these breakouts. And I love Mahomes. I love his arm. I'm hoping to see a second week of Mahomes just going crazy with the long, deep ball. I do kind of hope to see kind of a shootout, an old-fashioned Wild West shootout with the two offenses. Because we look at Patrick Peters, right? No longer on the Chiefs.
Marcus Peters,
yep. Sorry.
Yep.
Not on the Chiefs anymore. So, I don't think their defense is as good as it was.
No, that was supposed to be the issue. That was all the talk week one about how shitty the Chiefs' defense was going to be.
But I think their defense...
they gave up 28.
Right. But I think their defense is decent, but I think the losses of what they've had... I see an old-fashioned shootout in Pittsburgh, and I see the Chiefs winning by... maybe even 2 touchdowns. I know that sounds crazy.
Shit.
I know that sounds crazy, but
you are drinking that red and yellow Kool-Aid.
I know. Okay, so let's be realistic.
This is your most confident. You're pumped on the Chiefs.
I am confident
right
on this, man. The Chiefs.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah, Chiefs +4. Absolutely, man. I think they're going to win by, let's be realistic. I think they're going to win by 10 or plus.
10 or more.
10 or more.
Wow.
That's my most confident pick.
That's a blowout. I think anything in the NFL over 10 points is a blowout.
Yeah.
It's hard.
What about
to
a
win
47-3?
It's hard to win by double digits. That's obviously extreme blowout.
But a 47-3, yeah, for sure.
I looked at this game and something looked wrong. And whenever a game looks wrong to me, whenever something looks off, it looks too good to be true, I always stay the fuck away because Vegas is smart. They're begging you to take this game. They're begging you to take the Chiefs. This looks like the lock of the year. As bad as Pittsburgh played last week,
confident. Yeah.
And as well as Kansas City played, and Kansas City's +4. You would look at this spread at Pittsburgh -4. You would think Le'Veon Bell was back this week.
Yeah.
What are they doing? What is Vegas doing? And that alone was enough to scare me away.
Really?
I was like, fuck this game. I'm out. I'm not touching this game because I'm with you. The Chiefs +4, it just looks too easy.
Woo.
It looks way too easy. The Chiefs are getting 4. I feel like the Chiefs should be favorites.
That's what I'm saying.
In this game.
This wouldn't be obviously your kick. What do you call it? Kickback?
Feet up.
Your feet up.
This
isn't
game.
your feet up, huh? Is this your
is
least
scary.
confident?
No, this is scary. I'm staying away from this game. I don't like this game at all. I don't want any part of this game. I'm staying away from that shit. I respect that you feel most confident about it.
Yeah.
But I'm going most confident with me. Patriots. I'm going Patriots. I'm going with Tom Brady. I'm going with Bill Belichick. I'm going with the AFC Championship rematch.
Ooh.
You remember the rematch? You remember the Jaguars played the Patriots last year?
Yep.
AFC Championship. Patriots opened up at -2.5. Here's why I love this game. Right now, current spread down to 1.5. So it's dropped. It's gone.
Wow.
Big money coming in
from
on
yesterday.
Big money coming in on the Jaguars.
It is -1.5.
Yep. Big money coming in on the Jaguars.
Okay.
I'm definitely taking the Patriots to give up 1.5 points. I think it will be close, but I think it's going to be more of a 21-27 game, maybe a 24-27 game.
Maybe a field goal. Yeah, I could see a possibility of a field goal difference.
So even if it's 24-27, that's still enough points for the Patriots to cover, only giving up the 1.5. So, that's where I'm seeing that go. I'm seeing it as a 21-17, 27-24, maybe 27-21, but most likely a field goal game. And I'm going with that. And the reason I'm going to do that is because even though the Jaguars defense is great, they're going to be
top 2 in the league.
They're going to be at home. They're going to be fucking rowdy. That fan base is going to be pumped.
Yeah.
Even though, let's be real, none of the Florida teams have great fan bases. Miami people don't show up for shit. Jacksonville, they don't really show up for shit, even though the Jags are good.
Yeah.
You go over to baseball, Marlins fans don't show up for shit. Tampa Bay Rays don't show up for
Nobody's
shit.
in Minute Maid Field.
It's insane. I don't know what it is about Florida. Even Tampa Bay Bucks, they probably have the best fan base out of any of the Florida teams.
Yeah.
And because, they got the pirate ship and all the shit. But
Shooting
other than
the
that, I don't know, is Jacksonville really going to be like rocking? I mean, is it going to be... is going to be Green Bay, Denver, KC, any of these places that Seattle. It's not going to be that way. It should be because it's the Patriots at home and it's an AFC Championship rematch. But I don't think the fan bases get that much into it. So I don't think crowd noise. I don't think the fan base or anything like that is going to affect the game at all. Yeah. That's another reason I think the Patriots, they're only giving up 1.5. Anytime you get the Patriots that low, you got to take it.
Take it. And I'm not drinking the Patriots, especially the Tom Brady Kool-Aid like you are. You've said a lot about Brady today. I get it. What I like about that pick though is for you is my boy Fournette, man. Still in that injury grind. We don't know what to expect. I would say he's probably listed as questionable. I haven't looked in my
Yeldon's
fantasy.
Good though. I mean, Yeldon's more than capable. He's a great backup. He honestly could start for some teams in the league.
But he's not Fournette at
Fournette.
optimal health.
He's
so
not that big.
I do like the Patriots for that aspect. And Bortles, you never know what you're going to get with Bortles either. Which Bortles is going to show up. So that is concerning. So I think it's a good pick, but I'm not as confident as you. That's what I'd say.
Here's what I really like. If you remember back, you got to go back and do some research and you got to think back. And that's what I did on this game. You remember Tom Brady had the cut up hand. That was an issue. He still torched him. He went 26 for 38, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns. No, he didn't torch him. I mean, he didn't have a 500-yard day.
Sure.
But in an AFC Championship game, he still threw for almost 300 yards, 26 for 38 with a fucked up hand. He started off slow. The Jaguars came out with a bunch of momentum. I actually went back and watched it on Game Pass, just kind of zoomed through it real quick because you can watch the whole game in under 30 minutes. It's the greatest thing ever. $100 for the year. It's incredible.
All day.
So I went back and looked at that. I forgot he had the injury on his hand, and he did start slow. It did look like it was a little bit of an issue at the beginning of the game, but by the second half, Jacksonville couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him from throwing. And as good as that defense is, they had issues. I think Tom Brady's receiving core this year is better than what he's had. I think he has plenty of weapons out of the backfield. Philip Dorsett, we saw last week, became a huge weapon coming over from the Colts. So I don't see any signs of Brady and the Patriots slowing down. I don't think the Jags are able to stop him. Brady, here's a couple other stats here. Brady is 11-3 against the spread as a favorite when they're 3 points or fewer. 11-3. That's a good stat for you. So whenever the Patriots are favored by 3 points or fewer, this man's gone 11-3. That's a good stat for you to believe in there.
That is.
So that's another reason that I'm going to choose the Patriots minus 1.5 in Jacksonville this weekend. That's what I'm most confident about. What's your second heater?
Second heater. Again, we're gonna go back to the Eagles. I have Eagles.
Look at you.
I have Eagles minus 3.5 in Tampa Bay. And yeah, just like you alluded to, Tampa Bay's crowd is probably one of the most.
I got them at 3 now.
Do you?
Yep. But I got them down to 3, minus 120. So you have to put up 120 to win 100.
Yeah.
So you're still late odds on that, but it's 3.
Yeah,
I got him at
3.
3.
I would still take him at 3, even though my pick was at 3.5. But yeah, your stats probably more updated than mine. So I have them minus 3.5.
It's fluid. It's moving.
And here's why I would say that. So I expect a big game with wide receivers in this game because we don't have much. We have a lot of broken coverages, I believe, on the Bucs side. So I believe the wide receivers are going to have a great time this week. And I also don't see Fitzpatrick doing even close to what he did last week. I don't see him doubling down, doing anything comparative to what he did. If he does, great for him. And then if he goes into game 3 and has a decent game, watch out, Jameis. You may take a fucking seat, okay? So, hey, I'm rooting for him. That's fine. But I think the Eagles, with their defense, their offense, I think the wide receivers are going to have their way with the Bucs. And I would take Philly minus 3 any day of the week. I don't care how big the crowd is. The crowd support at Tampa, I think it's awesome. They shoot the cannons. That's great. But I don't think that offers them enough support to take the well-balanced offense and defense of the Eagles.
That's another game that I looked at and I just didn't see any value. I honestly thought Vegas got it right. 3 points, it could go either way. Yeah. Philly didn't look great as Super Bowl champs on Thursday night.
They look sloppy. Their offensive coordinator even said, or maybe their defensive coordinator, I think it was the defense coordinator, even said, man, we were sloppy.
They were.
The game was sloppy.
The game overall was sloppy. They didn't look great. Obviously, Tampa looked incredible. They lit it up. Is that a result of them being that good or New Orleans defense being that bad? I'm not sure yet. It's week 1.
Yeah.
And the thing that I continually tell people, we do not know shit until after week 3. The first 3 weeks of the season, throw them out.
Kind of a shit show.
You remember the Broncos last year started 3-0, beat the shit out of Dallas at home, and everyone was ready to give Trevor Siemian a new contract. Everyone's ready to sign him up as a franchise quarterback after 3 games. Well, the Broncos used everything they had in that game against the Cowboys and got their ass kicked the rest of the season and went 5-11. So the first 3 weeks of the season don't mean anything. They're also the first 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks are also the hardest to bet, in my opinion. I didn't like that game. I just didn't see any value on it. I'm going to go opposite direction. I'm going to go the Colts-Redskins game. The line opened up Redskins favored by 5.5. I love the Colts at 5.5. I'd really love them at 6. If I could get it at 6, that would be crucial. 2 field goals. But I'm still on the Colts. 5.5 is enough for me. I'm going to take the Colts plus 5.5 against the Redskins. I think Andrew Luck's going to be able to keep it close. Yeah. I think it may be one of those games where Washington is up 24-10 going into the fourth quarter, and you're like, oh, shit, down 2 touchdowns. And I think Luck just pulls out some garbage time, and they maybe win 24-27, or they maybe lose 24-27.
Which covers the spread.
So Colts, I think, probably lose by 3, but that's enough to cover the 5.5. I'm taking the Colts against the Redskins there. I like the Colts this week.
Well, and I'll go back to my pick real quick just to kind of give a little bit of history, because I did a little research on that as well. I'm not as detail-oriented, and I think our listeners know that. I do a lot of heart bets, and I still bet with history, and I still bet with trends, but Nick Foles is undefeated against the Bucks. Now, granted, that's only 1-0, right? Because he's only had them one time, and that win came last year when the rookie QB led the comeback victory over Tampa as the time clock expired, and then it was like a 1-yard pass to Macklin. Remember that game?
Totally
with
remember
Macklin?
that game.
So I like some of the history. Now, some of the things that and the Eagles still favor. The history says Eagles have 9 wins, and I believe Tampa has 7. Okay, in their history. So the Eagles are still winning on that. Yeah, they're going there. I think their offense and their defense is more elite right now. I don't see Fitzpatrick doing that. And then based off the history that I see here, I'd say Eagles cover the spread.
To kind of wrap up mine as well, Andrew Luck 11-6 as an underdog of 3.5 points or more since 2013.
That sounds pretty close to Brady's record, wasn't it? What was Brady's?
Let me click
that. But yeah, what that means is if that's comparative, you're comparing that to the GOAT. Those are nice.
Also, against the spread, he's 20-6 off of a loss. They lost last week.
Yeah.
So he's 20-6, not winning the games, not coming back and winning the next game, but coming back and covering the spread. The following
from previous
week,
game.
20-6. When he's off a loss, he's 20-6, and then he's 11-6 as an underdog of 3.5 or more. As I said, they're getting 5.5. So that's another reason I like the Colts this week. I like Andrew Luck. I think I don't think they win the game, but I think they cover that 5.5. What do you got for your third one?
Third one. Would this be the least confident one?
I guess so, yeah.
Is that
because Colts are middle of the road for me. So this is definitely my least confident coming up here at the end.
Okay. For me, I would actually say I'm a little concerned with your Patriots and Jaguars. That was kind of more concerning so I would take the opposite of you. Not that they will or won't win, but for me, going into Jacksonville, for me, I'm kind of betting off of history, and I had Jacksonville D last year as well, so I'm kind of going back from last year.
You think they're going to shut down the GOAT?
I don't think they're going to shut down the GOAT, but I think they'll keep it enough, because what was the spread? -1?
1.5.
I had -1. Okay, so if you have
It opened at 2.5.
Did it?
So now it's down to 1.5.
Yeah, so I'm not as... I'm a little gun shy with Brady and the D.
Dallas, do you want the pick or not? What do you want? Give me some fucking. Who do you want?
I'll take Jaguars.
You're going Jags. You're going opposite of me. We should just be making a bet right now. We should be making a little side.
I'm going to do opposite. Well, and if we didn't we do the side bet on the Falcons and the Eagles? We'll have to go back to the podcast.
I don't think so.
We didn't do a side bet on that?
Did we do a side bet on that? No, we did the full season, and we did the Bears making the playoffs.
Okay.
You have no, I have yes.
That's correct. Right? That's correct.
Not looking good for me.
Yeah, not looking good for you already. So I'm gonna take the Jaguars on +1.
Okay. Do you want a side bet on that? You want to put 5 on it? Like the Loonies?
I got 5.
You want it?
Let's do it.
All right, $5.
5 it is. I'll take
$5.
that.
All right. So
I just like to bet you, man.
and I'll give
want to
you,
go
give you
against
plus 1.5. I'll give you my line, so
Okay.
you'll get a better line.
Okay, that's
I'll get
cool.
that I have to win by 2.
Because I had.
I'll take the Patriots. They have to win by 2.
Okay.
Minus 1.5.
I take that, because, I mean, you're giving me better odds. I had -1.
Yeah. So I'll give you plus 1.5.
Okay.
So the Patriots got to win by 2 for me to cover.
Cool.
Okay, so my last one, I'm going to finish up. I'm sticking with the Ravens, man. I like the fucking Ravens this year.
Do you?
I like the Ravens D. They're mean. They're nasty.
After
Jimmy
one,
Smith is
after
back.
one game?
I like the Ravens.
Did
I'm
you
not a big
just-
fan of Joe Flacco. I'm not a big Flacco guy, but
Okay.
that defense is back, and they're going to be one of the top 5 defenses by the
Yeah.
end of the year. They're going to be up there with the Broncos. They're going to be up there with the Rams.
Yeah.
They're going to be up there with one of the top defenses. The Eagles, you probably throw them in that combo. I think the Ravens are going to be there towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Joe Flacco did well protecting the ball. That's something he didn't do well last year.
Yeah.
I think they're bouncing back, man. Jim Harbaugh's got them together. They're only, I think they're -1. Is that what you have there? I think I had them opening up at -1.
Where's my
Let me
guys?
see the actual full,
Ravens, I have -1, Baltimore.
So that game is tomorrow night. It's a Thursday nighter coming off a short week.
Yeah.
Ravens are on the road going to Cincinnati, which is tough.
Let's see, Baltimore to Cincinnati. But, I mean, that's not
It's
coast
not
to
far.
coast.
It's not far,
coast
but
to
you got to
coast.
still travel on a Thursday
On
night.
a short week, yes.
Those are tough.
Okay.
But I still just like Baltimore in that game. I think the opening line is -1. It's still sitting at -1, so it hasn't moved a lot.
None.
You're not getting a ton of action on this. And honestly, everything that's why this is my least confident game, because everything I'm looking at really gives Cincinnati the edge here. Baltimore doesn't have a ton of edge historically speaking. I think, let's see, Bengals have won 7 of the last 9 meetings. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm really going against the trends here, and the trends all favor Cincinnati. But I don't believe in Cincinnati. I don't believe in Andy Dalton. I don't believe in. I think Joe Mixon's a nice piece over there, but I'm just not. I'm not a fan of Cincinnati. I don't believe in them.
Yeah,
Ravens.
I took Joe Mixon in a couple of my fantasy leagues, and I don't think he's going to have a breakout year, but I think he's going to have a very consistent year. So I am on Mixon's side. I don't think he's elite per se, especially where he was being drafted. Did you see where he's being drafted?
Yeah.
Second round, right?
Yep.
All day, every day. So I think he's probably a more of a third, middle to end of third round if you could get him that late. But he's not elite in my opinion. But I have Collins as well, and I'm questioning Collins a little bit. I know he's got the tap dancing skills. I know he's got the quick feet. I didn't see much from him last week. Granted,
They
that
were
was,
up.
That
They
was
were up.
That was game 1.
They were blowing him out.
You know.
Why you want to pound Collins in there when you could throw in a second?
And just save it.
Yeah, throwing your backup running back. You don't need him.
Yeah.
They put Lamar Jackson in the game, for Christ's sake. Joe Flacco got pulled. I mean, every second stringer was playing.
But they pulled him when they were up by 40, right?
Yeah,
Before they
something
pulled
crazy.
him. So I mean, they waited for a little while.
Yeah.
But what quarter was that? Do you remember?
Everything was going through the air, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was late in the third.
Air Merrill McGee?
Everything was going through the air. The reason I like, the main reason I'm going to pick the Ravens over the Bengals is Geno Atkins being out for the Bengals. He's their do-it-all linebacker. He's the guy that just really calls the plays, does it all for them. And when a team is missing a core piece, it'd be like the Carolina Panthers missing Luke Kuechly or the Cowboys missing Sean Lee.
Yeah.
It's just a bigger impact than what they do on the field. It's leadership. It's being that Mike linebacker, calling the plays. Geno Atkins being out, that's gonna affect the Bengals. And I just think overall the Ravens are a superior team. They're a better overall team than the Bengals, and I always like taking a better team on Thursday night, especially when it's basically even. It's almost a pick 'em. Bengals -1. So I think the Bengals get it done. I actually think they win this game by 4. I'm going to say 20-16, 21-17, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to go with. What about? You gave me your last one. You're good. Anything else before we as we kind of wrap this up? Anything else to wrap up on that? Or did you write those down? Write down those spreads.
Okay.
Or write down those games.
Yeah, I'll get
so
it down.
yeah, we'll make sure we write those down so we can cover that next week. I don't really have anything else, man. Sorry again that the podcast ran so late. Sorry we only dropped one this week for you guys. I do have a new vlog that'll be dropping. That'll be up either Thursday when you're listening to this or Friday. I'm going to be doing a video on the Levi's 4s. It'll be a review. And then also my top 5 reasons to pay resale for that shoe. So make sure you check out that vlog. I'll review the Pharrells as they come in. Dallas has the aqua pair. I now have the yellow and black pair. I'll try to scoop the other pair from somebody else I know. We could take a look at all 3 colorways. We are still doing vlogs. I've been getting some questions about that as well. I just haven't had any sneakers come in, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with bullshit. And I'm not one of those YouTubers that just has to put up content every day because I have a real fucking job. So it doesn't really matter to me. I do it for fun. I do it as a hobby. I do it because I enjoy it. And the videos will come up when they come up. You know, we're doing 2 damn podcasts a week normally. So,
I agree.
You know, it is what it is, but I'll kind of leave it there. This one ran really long, about 2:45 right now. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and hopefully this helps you out with your fantasy advice. Hopefully you guys are continuing to enjoy the podcast. Throw me your DraftKings shit so I can get that put in. Hopefully we'll have it working correctly this week with the league, all that good stuff. I love the Sands shirt that you got, the old school Las Vegas Sands shirt. That is fire. That's really all I have for this one, man.
Right on.
You got anything else?
I think I'm good, man.
All right, good to go. We'll see you fools Tuesday.
Tuesday.